Yeah.
That's getting cut. But anyway, welcome to the 25th extravaganza episode of the Gameacologists, where, a podcast where me and one of my friends and possibly special guests talk about video games. Today I have Matt and James with us. Say hello.
Hello,
Hello.
everybody.
And today's subject is
You
us.
guys.
Us guys. And basically we're going to talk about what we've gone through in the past 24 or 25 episodes and how the show has grown and our progress. And I think James is going to, he has some kind of thing where he wants to fact check us on a whole bunch of stuff because he's an insufferable prick. and
I learned from the best.
yeah, so I think we'll open up with what are you guys playing? James, what are you playing lately?
Magic. Magic the Gathering. That's been almost the last year of my life. But
Two.
the early release of Fantasy Life I came out today. And Xbox had a delay on it, which is very unfortunate for them because I don't touch Xbox. Uh, but I didn't get it on Steam. I got it on Switch. Switch still doesn't come out until Monday or Tuesday. I'm still waiting until that day for the release.
Cool. Matt, what are you playing?
As of right now, Red Dead Redemption 2, I went back to it.
God
I was
damn it.
thinking, yeah, I was thinking a lot about the game. I'm like, I want to play this, so I'm gonna play it. And also Sekiro. Bounce between those two.
Sekiro.
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 It's pronounced Sekiro.
All right. On
Yeah.
episode 25, we delve into John's racism and
It's not racism, it's just an accent.
ignorance.
It's just an
Yeah.
accent. I don't speak with a Japanese accent, so I don't pronounce words properly. They would probably sound funny trying to say things like cheeseburger
Yeah,
or
but I mean,
constitution.
like, can you pronounce the word key?
No.
Man, that's just your education failing you. You're just plain stupid.
Hey, I have
Our
the same
education
education
failing
as him.
us.
Yeah, hold on. Whoa. I had almost the same education as him.
So I have been playing let's see, I recently re-downloaded Hitman Blood Money. I have they did a remaster for this. Well, I don't know if it's just for the Switch, but I have it on the Switch. I re-downloaded Final Fantasy 9. I want to finally beat that game and stop being a baby.
It's good. I would
Oh, it's
argue
great.
it's better than seven, but that's just my opinion.
Well,
Some
it's
people
wrong.
some people say it's the last good one, but 10 is it's debatable with 10. 10's pretty good. But
10
9
is
is there was a guy, I don't remember his name, but there was a guy in charge of Final Fantasy, and 9 was the last one he did. He worked on 1 through 9 and then stepped away for
right.
10.
Yeah, Maester Seymour was awesome, though. There's
Yeah.
Final Fantasy cards coming out next month. There's been Maester Seymour. I've shown you a few of them. There's Vincent Valentine. There's two different Vincent Valentines, which I want to make both of them as Commander decks. There's a Chocobo themed deck. There's Sids that are, I believe there's 17 of them. That so you can actually make a full Sid themed deck. For the most part, with Commander, you can only have one of each style of card unless it says otherwise, and those cards say otherwise. So it's going to be awesome just to have a full Sid themed deck.
All right. Yeah.
He don't care.
Nice.
He's,
Oh, that's
he's,
cool.
he's like, that's not a video game. You're on the wrong channel.
I mean, you're right.
There's
I am
Magic
like that.
Arena, which you can play mobile and on PC. You can those are video games. Face.
I guess.
I mean, you can play Magic the Gathering on a device, so it does count as a video game.
Yeah.
I also recently beat Sniper Elite 5, which that I feel like that series is seriously slept on. Um, I bumped up the difficulty to hard and have been playing The Last of Us Part 2 on hard mode with I've been streaming that and getting a few follows, a few viewers, a couple of nice conversations. That game with it on the higher difficulty, I noticed I didn't start making real progress until I just ran out of ammo. Like I was like trying to get in firefights with people and it just wasn't working out and I kept getting killed. And then as soon as I like was completely out of ammo, and had to like actually try really hard, that's when I started making progress in that game. And now I'm to the point where like I have one bullet in my revolver and I'm like, fuck yeah, I have a bullet. Like I feel like when I have three, I'm like, oh my God, I'm rich. But that game, it has breathed new life into that game for me, even though I've beaten it a million times. If you haven't, I absolutely recommend going back to that game and just ramp the difficulty up one level. It's a big step. It's a much bigger step from normal to hard. In that one is much bigger than what I remember from the first one. It's a very good game. Plus, I'm wearing a rainbow shirt the whole time, and they're like, "Wolf." I'm like, "I'm not a wolf. I have a rainbow shirt." But I don't think they give a shit. They're still shooting at me.
Yeah.
You
They're
said
like,
this was Last of Us?
Last of Us Part Two. Yeah.
Now that I've recently listened to everything all over again, I think the only two episodes you did not mention Last of Us to, or Last of Us in general, are the two episodes that were dedicated to a game. Actually, no, sorry, there were multiple because Call of Duty, and you still mentioned it in Call of Duty, but I meant Twisted Metal and Metal Gear. I don't think you mentioned it in either of those episodes.
Well, this is
Progress.
the official Last of Us Two podcast. It's in the
uh,
name.
uh,
Gameacologist is Norwegian for The Last of Us.
Another fact check I'm gonna have to look up.
Yeah,
I wonder if I'm ever
that's for
gonna find
season
that
two.
answer.
Oh, just to let people know, this is going to be the season finale. This is the end of season one for the Gameacologist. We are going to take a little bit of a break and focus on writing and maybe making some new content and things. And maybe in a couple weeks to a month, we're going to come back even harder, and we intend to keep going and keep growing. Going back, I've noticed that like our first episode is probably our worst episode, but we are brand new at this podcasting thing, and we've been doing it almost every week for like the past, with a couple of breaks in between towards the beginning, but for the past like 25 weeks, we've been pretty consistently putting out an episode. And
Yeah.
I like going back and listening to our stuff and seeing like how much we've grown and cringing at like the first couple episodes. Episode one and two are just like bad.
Awful.
They're bad. They're really
They're
bad. We
bad.
should redo the horror episode. It deserves better. But it's nice seeing like how we've grown, and we do intend to keep working on this and keep growing. The point of the break is not like we're sick of making the podcast or anything. We want to put a big focus on writing and come back even harder with more episodes prepared. So doing it week by week, we're coming up with the ideas week by week and writing things out throughout the week, and it doesn't always work out. An example, Matt had a really good idea for the history of sound in video games, which I thought was really cool, and we learned a bunch of really interesting shit. But then when we recorded the episode, neither one of us were really proud of it. We still like the idea and we're still going to use it, but we think it needed more time to like simmer and be fleshed out. So that's what the Shadow of War review was supposed to be something else. We were working on making like a full-on video, kind of a historical piece on WB Games and Monolith Studios and all. We had all this information, but since that episode didn't work out and we wanted to put something out that week, we just kind of threw that in there, and maybe not the best decision, but that's the purpose of the break. We want to make sure that that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, and that would be bring up my next point of after the break, instead of releasing an episode every week for the podcasts, we're going to do it every other week because, like John said, with the Shadow of War, we want to do a video on that. So we're going to take a step back, release a podcast episode every other week, and then release a video episode every other week to give us time to work on these episodes and make more content pretty much.
Yeah, and that's where we are creatively.
I would argue that your second episode is the rough
The
one to
worst.
watch. Yeah.
I,
Okay. So, with the first one, you had talking points. Whether they were fleshed out and everybody read them, that's a completely different conversation. I think the second episode, all you did was like copy and paste, and you spent like 20 minutes of the episode fleshing out other trivia questions.
that's
So it was very unprepared. It was You recovered pretty well, but it was still not the best, which is what you were talking about, trying to come in prepared for these things to give the viewers the best content you could provide. So that was a learning experience. If you come in there with pretty much nothing and just hope that you can wing it, that's proof that you're not at the point that you could do that completely at this moment. But you've definitely been getting better.
My what I love about the second episode, which like yeah, it's bad. Uh
It's horrible. We'll admit that.
it's also the first episode I ever edited. And I learned some things like the first thing people tell you is like cut out the gaps as much as you can. But then I learned there are certain parts where like yes, obviously don't leave like 10-second gaps in there. That's weird, 10 seconds of silence. But some of the gaps in conversations are natural. And like what I did like I'll ask Matt a trivia question and maybe let's say he gets it wrong. If I were to cut out the gap completely of him thinking like, "Huh, what's the answer to that?" Like, but no, I cut all that. I asked the question and he instantly blurts out the wrong answer. It makes him look even worse. Like, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So
it
that's
does.
it's all been these past 24 or 25 now, these past 25 episodes have been a big learning experience in how to do this. So maybe we get better and gain popularity and gain traction and stuff. All of our missteps are still up there.
Yeah,
I always tell people when I try to whore us out to new people, I tell you like, listen to the new one. Don't listen to the first one because I look at the view count, and when we get new viewers come in, they jump to the first episode, and I'm like, don't do that. Like, because with a couple of missteps here and there, I feel like we get better with every episode as it goes along. And people go, no, 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 we want to hear the bad one. We want the first one. But
I think the first one that I actually like, I liked them all. I'm biased. It's family. Uh, I think it was either characters we love or sequels we liked better than the originals. Because I mean, the Metal Gear and Twisted Metal are just vomiting information about a singular game, and not all three of y'all were in those episodes. So I think it was either
right.
characters we love or sequels we liked better than the originals were the first start, which is like episode 4 and 7, that I think whenever y'all started finding your ground and doing a lot better. The golden age of gaming, good, but I think characters we love is where I started enjoying it a lot more and needing my Wednesday episode.
yeah,
Characters we love is like me personally, like one of my favorite episodes that we've done. And it's not because pretty much brainstormed that episode, but it's like James said, I think that's like a really good episode. It's really strong. And had a lot of we had a lot of good things to say.
my favorite part is when I said that like we're not gonna like pick characters like Solid Snake, which are like lame basic bitch answers, because of course everybody loves Solid Snake. And then later I do a whole segment on Solid Snake.
You could have picked Solid Snake's ass. That's a completely different character.
It reminded me of that South Park episode where Satan has a sweet 16 and he tells everybody, nobody better show up as the crow because every time there's a Halloween party, someone always shows up dressed as the crow to try to hook up and it's lame. And then the party happens and he's the crow. But yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we've been. We're gonna keep going, keep having special guests like James and Ed, and I do have a plan for I know a guy who you know they James, I know you've played it. They re-released the older Final Fantasy games on modern consoles, and they've like I've seen you play 7. It's got the fast forward feature and everything. I know you streamed that,
I
but
have that.
I know a guy who works at my local grocery store. He's one of the managers. He platinumed it. He got the platinum trophy in Final Fantasy 7, the gold chocobo, beat all the weapons, got the 4 times cut, everything. He did everything, and that's fucking absurd to me.
Yeah.
So we've been holding off on like I want to do a Final Fantasy 7 episode, but I have to have that guy. Like I can't do that. We can't do that without that dude. I want to basically interview him about the game. So that's definitely on the back burner for a future episode. We will
Well,
have a
Yeah,
Final Fantasy 7 episode, like a whole episode dedicated to that game. But that guy works a lot. Like he works really fucking hard. It, it,
well,
I
one
will
of the
get him, but
questions
it'll be
fact
hard.
checks Matt involving Final Fantasy VII, but we'll get to
Oh, okay. So yeah, let's get into the facts. Look at Matt. Look at the color drop from his face. I'm not wrong.
that.
all right, yeah, let's
So,
do this. Let's see how wrong I am.
well, some of the episodes I didn't really have too much. Uh, like what was it? The Metal Gear and the Twisted Metal. There probably were fact checks, but I'm not so familiar with the game that I could call John wrong because all of this stuff was like spewing out how the game comes out and how it interacts and all this kind of stuff and you were right there with him. You're like, oh yeah, I remember that. That was this and this was that. And the only times that it was like, oh, what was the name of that person that did this? And then you answer it like 14 seconds later. So I don't need to fact check that because both of y'all are like, oh yeah, that's it. So some of those things I didn't
I
really
would
have
still
to.
fact check that.
I well I didn't because the names sounded familiar for me and I haven't played them in like 10 15 years. Um but
You should.
I have stuff from the horror episode, the trivia episode, the golden age of gaming.
You gotta
Uh
enunciate because it's like I have stuff from the horror episode.
the horror episode, yeah.
Mhm. That's on the
Trivia
OnlyFans.
episode, the golden age of gay Ming and characters we love. Metal I did have two things from Metal Gear. Sequels. So I did listen to it, but there's some where it was just like you guys spelling out why you enjoyed things. And I can't really
Yeah,
fact check opinions, you know? So
true.
certain what okay, so I lied. There are a couple opinions in here that I disagreed with, so I had to put those in there. But um
Like Matt, you said Raiden was a good character. That's factually inaccurate. Like,
fucking Emperor Palpatine fingers. Uh, wait, are you talking which Raiden?
oh, Metal Gear Solid 2. I was talking about.
Oh, no, that
Which
was
no, he is a good character. I was just being
Yeah, I
a
was gonna
dick. I'm
say
just
he
being a
is a
dick.
good.
He is. I'm just like you're the
Yeah.
way you feel. The way you feel deep down inside is wrong. Like,
you said Raiden, and eventually immediately I went to Raiden, like Mortal Kombat. Like,
it's fucking spelled the same.
uh, but with the horror episodes, one
Damn
of
it.
the things, the horror episodes, you tried to figure out what game came out around the same time as Condemned, and I have a couple options that could have prevented you from playing that. So Resident Evil 4 came out that year
You
in
talking about
January.
the first Condemned? What
Yeah,
game
you
came
said you
around?
said you didn't play it that year, like when it came out, and it came out in I believe it was October. Condemned came out in November of that year.
Okay.
Resident Evil 4 came out in January that year. Devil May Cry 3 came out in February that year. So I mean, like you delve into games, you could have repeated these games over and over. Uh, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas uh, was in June, and God of War came out in March.
I got Resident Evil 4 for like you said it came out in January, and I'm gonna guess 2005
Five.
because I got that for my birthday. Actually, Dad was still like, we can't play rated M games, but I had gone out to Tennessee to visit him, and they gave me birthday money. And like the first thing I did, I think it was on the way home from the airport. I was like, "Mom, let's go to Walmart." I got Resident Evil 4 for the GameCube. For basically my birthday's in mid-February, so right around just about a month after that game came out, I got my hands on it, and I had to return it fucking like 6 times because I kept opening up, and the discs were all scratched up. These were new copies. I don't know what the hell was going on, but I kept opening it up, and these were sealed, brand new copies from Walmart, and the discs would be just flopping around in there. And it was a two
Yeah,
disc. That was for the GameCube. It was a 2 disc game.
yeah. Sometimes the case is the thing that holds them in there just breaks in transit, so the discs they'll be flopping around.
Yeah, but
Flop
over and
floppy
over and
disks.
over. Those, yeah, they, yeah.
You, I was listening to this and it was rough hearing it. Y'all didn't know how Steam worked.
I don't, I
So
don't use
Yeah, we
so
Steam.
know.
so Steam is essentially like okay, so on your phone you have the Google Store, right? The
Okay.
Google Store, it allows you to download the game because you have acquired it and put it to your account, right? That is essentially what Steam is. Steam is its own thing. It has hundreds of thousands of games on it. You purchase them, you get free ones, whatever you choose. You go through the catalog, you pick them, and it is a generator that now holds all those for you. And you pick them, and then you just play that game. But you still have to purchase them from somewhere. Steam is one. So like if the iTunes store, right? The iTunes store is a completely different thing. If you're playing the game on the iTunes store, like Flappy Bird was still on there for a little bit, I believe, and then Flappy Bird was removed from Android. You would have to only have the iTunes store to play Flappy Bird, but you could not play it on the Android store, the Google Play store anymore. So Steam would be its own thing, and then there's like Epic Games that has their own generator. Epic Games has their own thing. Then you the what is it? The Uplay store, which is Ubisoft. They have their
Right.
own generators that some of the games will still be on Steam that are from those other things, but some of them you still have to have it. So if you did the Division, for example, I believe on Steam, you download it onto Steam, but you still have to have a Uplay Store information login. So it's just kind of sending you in the right direction rather than you going to a website finding all these things. It's all just a one big download uh, machine for you. So yeah,
So
but
it's
you
essentially a holding hub.
yeah. Yeah. But you log in, you make an account. It's absolutely free to make an account. But there's certain things, there's certain restrictions, like you have to have the account or be friends with somebody for like 3 days before you can gift a game to them, or they have to have purchased something that is a minimal of $10, so you know that it's not just a bot account, because there's so many people who will make fake accounts for games like Dead by Daylight that will get in, they will hack, they will get reported and banned, and then they just jump over to another account that they have now gifted that game to somebody else. So there's a lot of things that they have restrictions on, even though it's free and you can make a gazillion accounts. The games aren't free necessarily unless it's like Fortnite or something of that nature. So, but the next one is, and actually this was 3 days ago. It is Resident Evil 9 confirmed. So
Yes.
3 days ago, Resident Evil 9 still reportedly planned for 2025 reveal and a 2026 launch, according to insider Dusk Golem, which I found out from a couple of these questionnaires. He's a very reputable source who is often well informed about Capcom's roadmap. Resident Evil 9 is still planned to be a 2005 reveal and a subsequent 2026 launch. So,
See, I
yes.
told you, John.
I never
But this
said it
is
wasn't.
well, I mean, everybody knows that it's yes coming out. Like Grand Theft Auto 6 wasn't officially announced until the beginning of this year, but
Um,
leaked like 2 years ago.
there's a.
But
Sorry to cut you off, James. Go
go ahead,
ahead.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's a league that potentially that prototype 3 is in the works to be made. I don't
Okay.
know how accurate that is, but uh, some information was leaked about it, and Rockstar's already working on Red Dead 3 as well. It's nothing's official yet, but you know how this shit goes.
The disagreement we had about Resident Evil 9 is Matt was saying it was going to have something to do with Ethan Winters' family. And
It is. It's
Hmm.
supposed to be the Winter's trilogy.
everything that I've heard about it says that Leon and Jill are going to be the main characters.
That makes no sense, though.
It's everything I've heard, like from Facebook groups and news articles online, are saying that Leon and Jill are going to be the main characters of Resident Evil 9. I haven't heard anything about them doing anything else with the Winters family, other than at the end. I know at the end of 8 they say like they're going to do more stuff with the daughter, but I think they may have wrapped it up with the DLC. I didn't play that. I still haven't played that DLC.
No, because in the DLC, Rose loses all of her powers.
Yeah,
That's
but
how
I
the
mean,
DLC ends. So you can make a game where, in turn, she needs those powers back,
or she
and you
becomes the
get,
villain,
or she becomes the villain. Yeah.
like her
So
mother.
dun dun dun. Anyways, is there James? Is there any information on whether it's supposed to be
There was
Leon
there was
and
nothing else
Jill?
leaked. apparently.
Nothing else.
Nothing else.
So,
It was just confirmed for the first time officially.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The next one, I liked this as a question because it made me look it up, and the only thing that came up was theories. Okay, the question is, why did you need herbs in Resident Evil to heal? Like it doesn't. How are you supposed to stop a zombie from infecting you, right? So the only theory that was
Who
pretty,
who asked that question?
I think it was John.
I asked that
Okay.
in relation to because in Resident Evil 9 or Resident Evil 8 they kind
He's already
of
there.
like retconned it where they were saying that Ethan had superpowers through all of Resident Evil 7, which in my opinion ruins Resident Evil 7. And they were like, "Well, how does he keep getting hurt and keep healing himself?" And I'm like, "Well, how do fucking herbs?" Because
Yeah.
I accepted it because video games.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
the best answer that I could find on a forum was that it's easy to explain. In terms of gameplay, the no damage runs are the only possible canon
yeah,
because you're not actually like it explains why the characters look pristine in cutscenes, no dust, no scratches, no blood. So it explains that you never actually, but it's a game mechanic to keep you to not give up
I
immediately because you're a zombie immediately. Um, but that explain that I thought that was a pretty cool take on that.
and it does make sense because
it
In
does.
Resident Evil 2, you see Marvin is bitten and becomes infected and turns into a zombie. And from what I can remember, that's one of the only instances where where you see the virus transmitted in that way from bites. It's never meant. The movies say it, but the movies are dog shit. They're not. They don't exist in my. As a giant Resident Evil fan, the movies aren't real. Get that shit out of it. Like that's not, they're not a thing. But
Anything live action for Resident Evil is just trash.
in the games, from as far as I can remember, Resident Evil 2, Marvin getting bit and then later turns into a zombie is the only instance of that happening. You see Brad get bit in Resident Evil 3, but Nemesis gives him the whole hentai tentacle through the face. So we don't get to see if he actually turns until the remake. In the remake, he does turn, but I mean that's the remake.
The next one, I want to see if you ended up remembering the answer, because you asked what company made the little girl in Resident Evil.
I
Do
know.
you remember? Do you know the answer today? Because you
Yes.
didn't know the answer the other day or that day.
Um, I believe they're just called the Connections.
Yep.
Yeah,
Evelyn was created by the Connections. Yeah.
yeah. It's
Is
not
it Evelyn or
Umbrella.
Eveline or
Evelyn. Yep.
okay. Yeah, but it was just called the Connections. And you asked what the name of the company that Wesker created was, and you weren't certain if it was Tricell, but you were right. It was Tricell.
I see. I
Uh,
knew it was Tricell.
I don't remember who said it, but yeah. And is Resident Evil Code Veronica and ReZero being remade?
That's what I
Le
heard.
A leak from IGN confirmed that Dusk Golem, I saw his name multiple times, said that the remakes were not going to be as ambitious. So they're yes for remakes, and that Resident Evil 4 was the crown jewel of remakes.
It was
So
great.
yeah, so they're never going to be like that as far as his information is
I want to
given.
I don't know if I actually properly bitched about this on the podcast, but I would like to mention that very recently I got to the end of Resident Evil Code Veronica. Like if that's the only one of the more old school ones that I never actually beat. So I downloaded it and so it has this awesome mechanic where partways at certain points through the stories it will swap you characters between like Claire and Chris. And whatever weapons you have, like you have access to their item box, the storage. So anything you put in storage as Claire, when you swap to Chris, you can open the item box and you can use those items. But whatever's on them, you don't have access to until you swap characters. The only thing is the game doesn't tell you when you're going to swap characters. So at the end of the game, it swaps me to Chris. Now I've mentioned that like in Resident Evil 2, when I was younger, I made it to the final boss and didn't have enough ammo to beat the final boss because I would fuck up and waste ammo trying to kill everything. But in Code Veronica, I had plenty of ammo. I had the Magnum, I had the grenade launcher, I had the crossbow, I had so much ammo. But the
But it
thing
was on
was,
another character.
it was on Claire. those things were sitting on Claire. So without telling me, the game swaps me over to Chris, and then I go into the final boss fight, and I put every single bullet I had in the inventory and on Chris into the final boss, and it's mathematically not enough to kill him. Which I know everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people will say Code Veronica is their favorite or one of the best Resident Evil games, and as a big massive Resident Evil fan. I think that is a fucking garbage mechanic, and I will never play that. I will never play that game again. That's such bullshit because I don't feel like that was my fault. Like, do I have to have beaten the game already to know how to beat the game?
Well, that was the same thing with me with Dream Drop Distance for Kingdom Hearts for the
I remember
3DS.
that. Yeah, I
It
played that.
was I played about 2.5 hours of it, got to like the first boss, and if your timer runs out in the boss fight, you're still fine. You're not automatically swapping, but once you die, you do swap. So now you have to go back to Sora and then back to Riku and back and forth every single time. Once the timer counts down, let's say it's 15 minutes. I don't know what it was internally. You'll like pass out, and then you'll go back to where Sora was. It's like you're playing one mentality, but two characters in two different sides of the galaxy, and I hated it.
But I was thinking, like, if they do remake Code Veronica, that would be the only thing I want is just fix that or let people know, like, hey, by the way, you're gonna swap to Chris, so put your shit away. It's the part where the character Steve mutates and you have to run away from his giant mutated infected form. That was I got to him and he was killing me. And really you're supposed to just run away from him. You can shoot him with the magnum and stun him a little bit and sprint away. So basically I had the Magnum and some other strong, powerful weapons, and like all my health items just put on Claire because he kept he mutates, gets up, and he has a big axe, and you have to run down this long hallway towards the camera, like away from him, while he's swinging this axe. And the best way I found to do it is stun him a little bit and just tank damage and keep healing as you run away, and that worked. But then after that cutscene, it swaps me over to Chris, and you don't swap back to Claire. You go to the final boss fight, and yeah, I don't understand why people say that that's like one of the best games. I thought that was
Okay,
just
aside
horrible
from
design. Sorry, go ahead.
aside from that mechanic, and I agree that's a pretty big bullshit mechanic to put in a game.
Yeah.
Uh, but the story and everything else, aside from that mechanic, how is Code Veronica?
Really, it's not bad, which makes that mechanic even worse. I enjoyed the game until I got to the end. I was so fucking mad. And I'm like
Okay,
looking up.
see,
There are people who knife only the final boss, and I kept trying to. Well, not knife only, but I'd put every bullet I have into him, and then run up to her with my knife and die over and over and over and over again.
well, now that you're aware of that mechanic, I suggest you wait a year or so, remember this, and then go back and try to beat it. Get the taste out of your mouth a little bit and actually try and beat the game.
I
That's
might, but that's just fucking garbage.
He's not
Like,
going to
now.
remember it. It's going to happen again.
no, I'll remember it. That's burned into my brain for sure.
Yeah.
But god damn,
So,
that was just garbage. I hated that so much. Like, why would they? Because it's like when games have like shitty controls. Like if you die in something, my perfect example is Aladdin for Super Nintendo. Other than the magic carpet ride in through the lava, I feel like that game's controls are perfect. The momentum is perfect. The running, the jumping, and everything. When you
For an
die,
SNES in the game, yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
when you die, it feels like it's your fault. Like you fucked up.
yes.
Like you should do better. But then there's certain games where like when you die and it's not your fault. And
I
it's
grabbed
really,
that
really
log on the
frustrating.
waterfall. Fuck
Yeah.
you, Simba.
Yeah, where it feels like it's not your fault because of the game's mechanics or the game's controls like kind of suck. In Code Veronica, like I'm a very experienced old school Resident Evil player. I'm aware that you're not supposed to kill every single enemy and that you need to preserve ammo as best you can for the big boss fights at the end. I knew that. So when they swapped characters and took all my guns away, I didn't feel like that was my fault. There was no way I could have known that was coming.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
If they do the remake and they keep this mechanic, one way to fix it would be after you deal with Steve and his mutated form, you get to a save room.
Oh, spoilers for Steve, by the way.
you you get to the save room and you put shit in the box,
Yeah.
and then yeah, your items,
He,
In
guns,
the
health,
box.
yeah, shit in the box. And then when you switch over to Chris, he has access to that save box or item box.
I mean, they did that in Final Fantasy VII. Whenever you're in the canyon and you're about to fight Sephiroth, and it's like, this is the final moment. Would you like to swap team members? And then you
Yeah,
have that whole opportunity. So,
Yeah, there's a lot of like even in the Resident Evil 2 remake when you get on the tram and you're gonna pull that lever to go to the Umbrella's underground thing. I think Ada
right.
says something like, "Hey, I don't think there's like no turning back at this point,"
All right.
or something. It kind of
And
lets you know that that's
yeah.
yeah,
happening.
and in Cyberpunk 2077, just before you do the final part of that game, it sends you a text message on your HUD saying, "Hey, if you continue through this door, you're going to be locked out from everything else."
Tons of games do that now.
Yeah. It was just before its time, you know?
It was PS2. I was so mad. I was so mad. This was very recently, like less than a month ago. I did this. I was so
That's why
fucking
he's
pissed.
so pissed about it
It's still
still.
fresh. Like, it's the wounds are still bleeding.
The next one is one that I'm pretty sure Matt doesn't even know exists.
Look at him.
Uh, and Kyle would be surprised to hear who was Jason Voorhees' dad? There is an answer.
There
Well, hold
is.
on.
There,
There is an answer, but they may or may not be canon. There's the Ash versus Freddy versus Jason versus Ash with the Necronomicon, and then there's what Kyle is referring to is there is a handful of I think there's two or three fan made Friday the 13th short films, which are honestly the best things that the franchise is, even though he made them at a loss and it's illegal for him to make money off of them. Never Hike Alone is probably the best Jason movie that's been out since probably part seven.
well, this was one of the comics,
Yeah,
or it was
Are the
in Jason versus Leatherface #2,
Is that canon?
written by Nancy Collins with
it's
art by David Imhoff.
it's probably not canon, but some of those are interesting. Go, who's Jason's dad in it? Is it
His
Leatherface?
name is Elias.
Elias. That's
Hmm.
all we get. Some dude named Elias.
Finally provided an answer as Elias, the father of Jason Voorhees, makes his debut.
Some of those comic books are I don't know if I mentioned it on the podcast before, but I read one run of Friday the 13th comics that was they're reopening Camp Crystal Lake and they hire a bunch of people from all over and they come to repair the camp and they're going to be counselors, and while they're rebuilding it, everybody has their own backstory and their own reason why they're there. There's a couple of criminals running away from the police and picking it up as a side job. There's two guys and a girl that show up. A guy and a girl are dating, and it turns out the girl's really mean, and the two guys are actually gay, and they're cheating, and he's cheating on her with his own friend. But she's such an awful person. When they come out to her, they're like, "Bitch, we don't even like you. Like, we don't even like get the fuck out of here." Like, it's a triumphant moment where they have each other's backs, and every character has a really interesting story. And when they die, it hurts because everybody has such an interesting background, and you want to see most of these characters make it or what's going to happen with them. So when Jason shows up and starts killing people, it's actually really impactful because you grow attached in a real way to these characters. And then it turns out there's like some kind of curse from Cherokee Indians where they cursed a child to protect the land that their families grew up on, and that's why Jason keeps showing up according to that line of the comics. And then there's another one where you open the first page and it's naked dead women with blood all over themselves, and it's just trash. So they're yeah, they're hit and miss really hard. Like that one, I wish I knew which one I was talking about. I think it was 8 or 10 issues, and it was absolutely fucking captivating. I read it from start to finish, and I was like, this was great. I'm gonna look up another line of Friday the 13th comics, and it was bad. So
that
like
that
yeah.
that line you're talking about with like the gay dudes and criminals and stuff. If you can find which comic line that is, I
I bet
would
I
love to
can.
read it myself.
I bet I can. It was on readcomiconline.to where like I read all the Walking Deads and stuff. It's
Hmm.
on there, but I bet I
Man,
can
that
find it.
does sound like a pretty interesting story.
It was
And
great. It wasn't just murder for the sake of murder. It was just like no, like
yeah.
because Jason's gonna show up and he's gonna kill 90% of the people.
Hmm.
But as the viewer or the reader, I was like, most of those people, I actually don't want them to die. They don't fit the stupid stereotypes. Like there's the stoner guy and the slut and the mean
Hmm.
guy, and like in every single movie,
The
they
jock and shit
yeah, they
like that.
seemed like real people with real problems and real histories, and it's like, no, not that guy.
I you said .to. Do you know what .to is?
No, what
No.
is dot
Or
.to?
or readcomiconline.to, I believe, is what it was.
If it is To, it's the Kingdom of Tonga.
The Kingdom of Tonga.
Tonga is a it's an island, like I think northeast of Australia, but it's a tiny little island. I when I was in the army and I was reclassing to the information technology specialist, computer tech, essentially signal repair. Um, they were out there training with us, so they were learning how to use the equipment and all that kind of stuff too. So it was really interesting because I didn't know that that island existed either. So
So it is readcomiconline.to, but
um,
now when I type it in, it takes me to readcomiconline.li. But if you type in readcomiconline.to, it will take you to where it is an excellent website, but the ads that pop out around it are NSFW.
Li, do you know what Li is?
Nope.
Liechtenstein.
Well, they have I read every single issue of The Walking Dead on there, and it was fantastic. And not only that, when I was reading it, the series wasn't over yet, and new issues would come out monthly, and they would be posted to the website. So I was able to catch up and then keep reading monthly until the series
Yeah.
ended. Liechtenstein.
Uh, the
You can
next
lick this
question.
Stein.
The next question goes hand in hand with that. Does John indeed live in people's walls? The answer is he does not.
Don't know that.
He tries. He
He does not.
tries.
He does
He,
not.
Prove it. I'm waiting. I live in people's walls.
No.
I watch your whole family eat dinner.
Here's
That's
one
Theo
that
Von.
you should have gotten right, Matt, for the trivia episode. Because now I got the two questions in the trivia episode. I'm not even going to include the Mario one because we all know that
No,
that one
no,
was
no.
wrong.
That was you. Oh, what was it? No, please
It
include
was
it. It
something
was
like you were asking like a question and you're like, "Is Mario in it?" No. Okay, so it's not Mario Kart.
yeah,
Is it
Mario
Mario
Party.
Party? That you hurt my heart. That's why the second episode was the worst.
Still no bitches.
St-
Sorry.
so you asked a question, John, about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, and it asked which character was not in it. And I looked it up. I looked at gameplay of the game, everything. Donatello is indeed in the game. So I don't know. That thing was wrong, whatever it was that you were retrieving those answers from.
Yeah, he's the one with the stick, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, he's the best character in every Ninja Turtles game because he has reach.
absolutely.
He has the reach. He's the Eddie Gordo of like, here, little buddy, you could be Donatello because we don't want you to. We don't want to babysit you.
And then another one in the trivia episode was LOTRO, Lord of the
Lord
Rings
of the Rings
Online.
Online.
Yep. Not League of Legends. Um, right now, currently, it is ranked 40 out of the 143 MMOs. It's probably one of the better ones that's free outside. Well, they're not free, but like World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, even people playing RuneScape and stuff. So it's in the top 40, and this doesn't discern between paid or unpaid, but it's probably one of the top few outside of paid.
I,
But right now, actively, there have been typically the daily players, the average is about 3.3 thousand. and then what it typically has on the high ends of the month is about 9,000.
I didn't know it
So
existed.
yeah, it is. I played it for a couple months.
Huh.
I didn't like that it wasn't. There's little things that are in a lot of other games that are they have map capabilities. You can click a marker on the map and you can have your character kind of just walk in that direction, or even have a walking guideline, like a line that you're supposed to just click and follow, and then you just keep walking. You don't have to necessarily see it on the ground, but you could see it on the map that it says it's still in that direction. All it did was put a cursor, a little blip on your map, and you're like, pray you go that way. And then I went down into a little canyon and I wasn't able to get back up. And I was just like, what the fuck is the point of this? That NPC is all the way up there. Why am I down here? Uh, but yeah, it's still apparently it's still an act that's it shows like this month there was active of 3,000 people so far.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool. I think the best MMO that I've played would be Fantasy Star 2.
I tried to get into PSO and it was essentially just a different version of Monster Hunter. You go in, you do an interaction, and then you go back to base. And then you go in, you do an interaction, you go back to base. For people who like Monster Hunter and stuff like that, that's awesome because it's a game that you're already going to love. But I do the open world, and these are like three or four individualized map rotations that you're killing 20 to 50 monsters on a map, and then you're going to the next one, and then 20 to 50, and then 20 to 50, 20 to 50, then the boss. Like it's rinse and repeat
It is.
for PSO, not Monster Hunter.
Right.
Um,
New Genesis, they did a little bit better. They put stuff in the open world where you don't always have to go back to base. But I just like combat because most of the
yeah,
MMOs I've played, the combat's kind of boring or it's lacking. This one, it's really flashy. And they give you different
yeah.
type of, and they give you different type of weapons and stuff that you can use for DSP, a tank, range, whatever the case is, or whatever your flavor of combat is. I just like how flashy it is and over the top it is.
Yeah. The next one we delve into the golden age of gaming. One thing that, and John keeps beating it like it's a dead horse. Um, no horses were harmed in the making of this podcast either. But uh, the difference between the four and five is visually insurmountable. Like if you have a 1080p TV, you're not going to see the difference because the PS5 is going to be gated at the 1080p resolution. If you don't have a 4K TV, you are not going to see the difference between your PS4 and PS5. The performance may do a little bit better. You're not going to notice it. It's going to have all the cool games, but it's still going to be at a 1080p. So if you went to a place like Best Buy, you would see it. Now, Walmart, no, because they're going to have TCL or Hisense, and they're going to have shitty 4K TVs. They're not great TVs.
Yeah.
But one of the ones that's it's intended to have the higher performance, you will see if you put them right next to each other. At Best Buy, it calls it the heat wall. It's the TVs that are on the back. You'll be able to see the
Mm-hmm.
1080p's and 4Ks and even 8Ks nowadays, and you will be able to see the difference between them. And until that moment, I feel like he's still going to be in that mindset, which he's entitled to because he's only seen 1080p. But once he
Well,
jumps up to
Okay.
4K,
But okay, it makes a lot of sense what you're saying, James, because when I worked for Dish, um, uh, we would sell high quality HDMI cords. I mean, when you got your
yeah,
receiver, when we install that, the cheap ones came with it, right?
correct.
And I would show the customer the difference between those HDMI cords. And not to like sound like I'm selling it, but one of the benefits is that Audio Quest, that's the company, it was rated for 1080 and 4K. So if you had like a bitchin' setup and you wanted that video quality, you would need a high quality HDMI cord. And a lot of
Yeah,
people are ignorant to that until you show them.
correct.
but I think so even with that information, and this is still just like personal preference, and I think Matt would probably agree with this. I don't know if you would,
There
But
weren't enough games. Like I
well,
get that
yeah,
part.
there weren't enough games, but the thing is, like, I'm still playing things like Chrono Trigger and Super Metroid and NES games, and I'm also playing like PS5 games. And what I'm looking for when it comes to newer stuff is not like visuals are on the list, but towards the bottom. It doesn't. It's just not that. Is the game fun? You can have uh, a 4K, beautiful, gorgeous looking pile of shit, but
That's
it's
true.
still a pile of shit. Like, is the game fun? That's one of my highest priorities. And I would say there are things like I don't know, there are older like Super Nintendo games that in my opinion are better than some games that are coming out now. And
Yeah.
there are games coming out now that are better than, old Super Nintendo or old NES games, but it's really gameplay. Is it going to get me hooked? I can be like, wow, this is gorgeous. Like, this is the best looking game ever. But am I going to dump 100 hours into it? Probably not, because it just doesn't. It's when it's one of the things we talked about in the Ubisoft episode, how they tend to they put a lot of their eggs in the wrong basket. What they dump the most money into is not really what's important.
Yeah.
Visuals are good, like visuals are great, and it's a great way to sell products, especially like in gameplay trailers and videos and things like that. But
Yeah,
it's at
because
the
that's
bottom
the
line.
first
Is
thing
it
you see.
Yeah, at the bottom line? Like, is the game fun?
I mean,
Yeah.
that was the first thing with Ghost of Tsushima. Everybody noticed the grass. That was
Yeah,
the first as seeing that on a PS5 with a 4K TV. It was
Dude,
unbelievable
I,
to see
I'm
how technology has grown.
I'm pretty sure it looks amazing or way better in 4K, but it's still visually stunning in 1080p. On my
Yeah, and
PS4, it is still a visually stunning game, but the game is also great. It is fun. You want to play it, you want to sink time into it.
yeah. I wanted to so your replay value episode, right?
the new one.
Um, I feel like I wanted to weigh an opinion on there. I wasn't in there, so I couldn't say anything. But I wanted to weigh an opinion towards John with it. Like he's like, oh, I'll go back and I'll beat all these games. And Ed was like, I got 10 in the chamber every year that I rotate through. And with Ed, that's impressive to still be up to date with all the games and everything. But with John and his limitation of I'm not always going to buy new games and I'll wait for them to be a little bit more affordable, which is great because that's how his collection is huge.
Yeah,
It prevents him from playing a lot of the games uh, that aren't ever going to go down in price. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So all the AAA titles that are going to be the ones that everybody's always talking about, and if he's sitting there still playing Paper Mario for the 17th time of the year, it's not going to give him time to be able to play the new game. Like I think he probably took a little bit longer with Spider-Man after it came out because he was probably delving back and forth, going back with Resident Evil or something of that nature. Uh, it's harder to dedicate to one thing if you're playing six.
yeah,
So I think the
Yeah,
replay value kind of stops you from getting more games. Uh, People are complaining about the new games coming out because they're locked into what they loved and they're not going out of that box. So,
yeah. That's why, uh, in a way, you're saying that John's kind of neglecting himself
yeah, I mean,
from.
that's a cute way of saying it.
I mean, I try to keep a balance. I am conservative like John is when it comes to purchasing video games, but and I'll wait till they go down in price or wait for a deal to play them. However, I try to keep a balance, and if there's something that looks really cool and it's like and it excites me, I would be more than willing to pay full price for it.
there are a few for me that I will try to get when they're new or relatively new, or not wait for a deal. Like any new Resident Evil game, especially the remakes, 2 and 4. Um, I don't regret
Silent Hill,
that. Silent Hill 2, I got Silent Hill 2 at full
yeah.
price. Resident Evil 3 remake filled me with what's known as buyer's remorse. That
Okay,
was
well, what we're talking about is okay, yeah, we get it. There's certain titles or franchises that you go after. Like me, when they say Devil May Cry 6 is coming out, I'm gonna go buy that shit.
Yeah.
The Metal Gear 3
What
remake.
what aside from those known franchises, what are you willing to go look at?
It's like to consider buying full price.
Yes, but
Nothing. Literally nothing.
When I saw Black Myth Wukong, I was like, oh, I really want to get that. I didn't really know it was going to be a Souls like. I honestly didn't. I just knew that it was going to be, you know, Journey to the West.
That looks
It's
good.
going
Actually, I would like to try
it's
that.
going to be based off of that story, and I'm like, oh, this looks really cool, and I was excited for it, but I don't have the PS5, so there's no point in me purchasing it. And then I found out it was a Souls like. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, that's right up my alley.
Yeah.
There is a trailer for a new Silent Hill game, which I did mention before, Silent Hill F, and that looks fucking amazing. It takes
Is
place
that
in
what the F stands
Japan.
for?
Probably. I don't know what the F stands for. It takes place in like because Silent Hill is like some town in like America, but this is happening in Japan, and I think the '60s. And you're like a Japanese schoolgirl, but there's a bunch of wild, fucked up shit that's going on. It looks really good. Watch the trailer. Anybody listening, watch the trailer for Silent Hill F if you haven't seen it already. It looks fucking awesome. But that's one that I would be excited to want to get before a sale. But again, that's an
I,
established franchise. There's nothing
yeah,
that's not an
and
established franchise that I would want.
it's also a survival horror. You know,
Yeah, I'm
it's
not willing
okay
to
to get.
gamble 70, 80, 90, whatever they are now. I'm not willing to gamble that on something that, you know,
Mm, this is why
Yeah.
you should get a decent PC and get a Steam account because you could play a lot of demos and get a feel
Yeah.
for the game. So that
So
like, you know what, I'll pay full price and check it out.
they have demos on
one
PlayStation.
thing with Steam is unless they changed it, it's actually 2 hours. You could play a maximum of 2 hours and get a refund.
That's what I thought. I just didn't have enough info to correct them.
Well, Ed said you get like an hour and then you can get a full
Yeah,
refund.
Well, Ed's
yeah,
a
two
fucking
hours.
liar.
Unless it's changed. I didn't fact check that one because I was like, I've refunded right before 2 hours because everybody goes to like the 155 mark just to make sure that they don't go over. But the next one was which sold more, the PS3 or the 360? Y'all had mentioned, or at least Kyle and I think Matt said the 360. So
This is the PS3.
it was the PS3. The PS3 also started a year later, but at the end of life for them, the 360 had sold 84 million units, and the PS3 had sold 87.4 million units.
Ha, take that, Ed, you fucker. Because
Yeah.
we're always arguing which one is better. And I he's like a huge 360 fan and shit like that.
Oh,
He's
that
like, well,
explains so much.
yeah. And I'm like, dude, like, the PS3 was better. It ran better.
And
I
this
want
was
to
an IGN article, so a 2013 IGN article.
I want to say it had better games, but I didn't actually have a 360, so I
the,
don't really know.
the only thing that the 360 had for it was Gears of War and Halo.
I know
Yeah,
some regular Xbox exclusive titles that were pretty good, and if I was an adult with money back then, could have been potential system sellers for me, but
there was
I
one
wasn't.
360 title that I very much enjoyed that wasn't on the PS3, Blue Dragon.
Oh,
Yeah. Do you have that, John? Are you about to reach over and
No,
grab
no,
it?
no.
Oh, I was about to get excited. It was one of the like Dragon Quest. It was Akira Toriyama, and
yeah.
he made it, and everybody had like shadow dragons that fought for you, and they all did different styles. It was like 10-2 where you can change your class and everything, uh, all that kind of stuff. So, um, one that I think John will be interested in. What games started like the over the shoulder shooting? Because he didn't see it too much before Resident Evil. So,
Well, no, there were some. There was Freedom Fighters was one. I just thought I thought I was the point
sorry,
I
you
was
said to popularize. You said which one popularized it?
the point I was making is that so I think Resident Evil 4 did to the third person shooter the same thing that Mario 64 did to 3D platformers. How like maybe it wasn't perfect and there was a lot of things to iron out and make better, but it set a gold standard. Like when I say Mario 64, you know you had the Lakitu following you around with the camera that spins
Mhm.
all the way around you, and now that's a it was a fight me in the comments, but it was absolute fucking dog shit in Mario 64. But everything after that, it is based on that initial style of camera work in 3D games nowadays, in third
Yeah,
person games. Everything you play that's third person, from Uncharted to The Last of Us to fucking the newer Metal Gears where the camera goes all the way around a character. That's you can thank Mario 64 for that. And I think Resident Evil 4, the original, did the same kind of thing for third person shooters.
gotcha.
Mm.
Yeah, a lot of the comments said fade to black.
Let's fade to
Fade to
black.
black. It
Hey,
was
the
it was a
black
third person
sounds.
shooter, and
That's a Metallica song. You guys are
but then
idiots.
then other honorable mentions because you made it seem like you didn't know of any others. You're like, I'm sure there were others, but you didn't know of any. But Star Wars Shadow of the Empire,
Hmm.
MDK, whatever that is, Mission Impossible, Duke Nukem Time to Kill, Zero Hour, Heavy Metal FAKK 2, whatever the fuck that is,
Time to Kill is trash.
uh, Giants, Citizen Kabuto, and Max Payne. But Matt did mention Max
Oh,
Payne.
yeah, Max Payne. Duh.
Yeah, you did. Don't forget that you said it. All right. Uh, the next one is Matt's. He was correct. Are pickles cucumbers or cucumbers pickles?
Now, I've been thinking about this.
Pickles are
Pickles
cucumbers.
pickles are cucumbers, but cucumbers are not pickles. And let me elaborate. You take a cucumber and you can make it into a pickle. The pickle itself is still what it was. It is a cucumber that has been fucked with. A cucumber has not been fucked with yet. So it's not a pickle. A pickle is still a cucumber, but a cucumber is not yet a pickle.
Correct, and that's what Matt said. But the way, like how fast he thought it up, and like I've never had to think about it, so I definitely had to second guess. I was like, wait, whoa.
Pickles just they just grow like that. They just come out of the ground and they're
No,
already
they
pickled.
don't. You gotta, you take a cucumber and you put it in like
Your ass.
water and vinegar. I don't know what the ratio is for water and vinegar, and then it
1 to 1.
ferments.
You take one. I used to make pickles at a restaurant. Now they're not, your typical pickles, but it was you have a pickling spice, and we would use rice vinegar, and it was a gallon of rice vinegar, a gallon of water, a bunch of spices. You bring it to a raging boil, and then we poured it into a bucket with a bunch of sliced cucumbers, and let that shit sit for a while, and we had pickles.
Yeah.
Pickles.
Well, now that we know all that,
You're welcome,
I
everybody.
had one question that I wanted to look up for characters we love, and is Pac-Man's or are Pac-Man's kids from Mrs. Pac-Man?
That's a good question. Are
That's a
they?
great question.
Wait,
That means he fucks.
Is Miss Pac-Man his sister? Let's start with that.
No,
No, no,
Okay. Okay.
they're married.
Okay.
Uh,
under the
well,
eyes of
that hold
God.
on, hold on. Yeah, wait, no, that doesn't say they're not. But anyways, but it says Junior Pac-Man and Baby Pac-Man are the children of Pac-Man and Mrs. Pac-Man. They are also referred to as Pac Junior and Pac Baby, respectively. According to Pac-Man Wiki, the Pac-Man family also includes Pac-Man, Mrs. Pac-Man, Pac or Junior Pac-Man, Baby Pac-Man, Chomp Chomp, and Sourpuss.
Who the fuck
Uh,
is Chomp Chomp and
Sourpuss.
Sourpuss?
Sourpuss is the cat. Chomp Chomp is their dog.
Okay.
Chomp Chomp looks like a dog. Let's see what Sourpuss. Sourpuss looks like a cat. I don't know what. Oh, they were part of the Pac-Man TV series.
Yeah, there was that existed.
Yeah.
I remember we used to
I
watch the.
vaguely.
We would see the Christmas special that would come on like every year somewhere, but there was a whole series attached to that Christmas special we used to watch. But yeah, I think Pretty sure it's for the NES. It might be like a Tengen. You know, the NES had those like black bootleg, not bootleg, but like not official Nintendo carts. I think Gauntlet 2 was one of them. Um, the Miss Pac-Man for the NES is the superior version because it's that era's version of like an update, like a software update where they couldn't, they didn't have internet, they couldn't just patch your game. So when they released Miss Pac-Man, it's essentially just Pac-Man with a bow on his head, but it's got more content and it's a more refined. I've always heard that Miss Pac-Man back in the day is the superior way to play Pac-Man because that was when they updated it and added
Hmm,
content and fixed little bugs and stuff. They just threw a bow on him and some makeup and like get on out there and be somebody.
that's funny.
Okay.
That's real though. That's what happened. That's how they
I
updated
believe
it.
you. I mean, although I would argue that the arcade was probably the superior way to play most games.
Yes, but like they put out Pac-Man Arcade and then they want to make the sequel or the updated version. If you see a Pac-Man arcade cabinet sitting next to a Miss Pac-Man arcade cabinet, play the Miss Pac-Man.
Right.
It'll actually go up whenever you're pressing up.
Yeah,
Or maybe not, because people would probably gravitate towards the better version of Pac-Man, which would be Miss Pac-Man, so that joystick gets overused and starts breaking,
that's
and
true
then,
too.
and then you have the untouched Pac-Man
I
with a
bel-
perfectly good joystick and
It's
buttons.
just life is just a fucking nightmare, wall to wall, isn't it?
I don't know where you're getting that from, but
Because like it's the better
sure.
version of Pac-Man, but there's just nobody ever wins. You never get to be truly happy. It was that
Well,
something always hurts.
that's because little kids, they go to arcades, they get their sticky ass fingers over the buttons, and they yank on the
Ass
fucking
fingers.
Those sticky ass fingers.
and they yank on the
I know
joystick.
why they're sticky. Why are their ass fingers?
Their ass fingers yanking on the joystick. Can we should probably breeze past this. Matt, you're making it weird.
I was not making it weird. You made it weird until you
That's a
by
great
pointing
podcast
Oh,
with Pete
that's
Holmes.
right, John. That's right,
all
John.
that
You
shit
did
out.
start talking about ass fingers. Wait,
Yeah.
no, it was him.
No, it was Matt. What are you
Yeah.
No,
talking
it
about?
was you. It wasn't weird
You
until you
said
start pointing out
sticky
all
ass
the
fingers. It was
yeah.
James.
I,
Yeah.
uh,
And sourpuss.
I didn't like fucking A, guys. Fucking A. It's all John's fault though.
Well, in the Metal Gear episode,
Great segue.
uh, John asked, where did they crash with the helicopter? And you were like, I didn't know if it was New York or Washington, D.C., or you were uncertain
Oh,
at that point.
Arsenal gear, and it's DC or New York. It's in New York.
Yeah, it was New York. And Sons of Liberty, the former U.S. President George Sears, also known as Solid as Snake, spoiler, is fought atop Federal Hall in Manhattan, New York City, not after a crash, but following a dramatic crash of Arsenal gear into the city. Yeah.
That game was wild.
It was.
And then you asked, like you gave the general synopsis, but you had asked what was Big Boss's interpretation. Like you're like, I don't know what it was, but it was essentially this. So
Yeah,
it says in Metal Gear Solid, Big Boss's interpretation of the boss's will centers on creativity, or sorry, on creating a society where soldiers are free to fight for their own beliefs, independent of government control. This vision, embodied by Outer Haven and Zanzibar land, is driven by his disillusionment with being used as a pawn by the government, as he witnessed during Operation Snake Eater. Big Boss aimed to establish a haven where soldiers could be free from the exploitation of their political superiors. So,
So mercenaries.
yeah, I mean, well, I think John did a really good way of explaining it, and if you wanted to know more, then go back and listen to the episode. Uh,
Yeah.
I put a lot of thought into it.
yeah, I mean, it was that's why I believed mostly everything there was nothing that sounded like a question, like you were unsure of it. So, it was very hard to find things that you needed more delving into in that
That
episode.
that was the main the my main point of confusion, like probably my only remaining point of confusion with that series is that a lot of those guys like Big Boss and Zero and Ocelot and maybe not necessarily the Patriots, but a lot of like the main characters that seem like they might be bad guys, they're fighting over different interpretations of the same thing, which is the boss's will. Now, I couldn't sit there and tell you what Big Boss's interpretation versus Major Zero's interpretation versus Ocelot's interpretation or Liquid Snake's and how all three or four of those differ from each other. But I do know they're all fighting over the same thing. They just
Yeah.
see it differently. That six is actually a nine if you stand at this side of it, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but that's what makes the story of that game really interesting because you never truly understand what the boss's will is.
I think if you spend enough time analyzing it, you're supposed to come up with your own interpretation of what the boss's will was.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a definitive answer.
Well, there
And
is in
I,
their eyes.
yeah,
She's voiced by the lady who plays Pearl in SpongeBob, which every time,
fuck
oh my
yeah.
god, I know I probably said it in the episode, but every fucking time I hear Pearl, I think, Daddy, I want it. I think, your country or your beliefs, loyalty to the mission or loyalty to me. And then she breaks his hand and his gun and leaves him. But Dad, it's great.
The next one that I had questions in were sequels we liked better than the originals.
Okay.
This one, John may know the answer now, but he did not know it at the time because y'all answered it for every other game except for number one. The main boss for Uncharted 1.
Navarro?
Yes. Yeah, y'all you didn't know it at that time. You were listing every other game. Oh no, that's the villain for this one. That's the villain for this one. Atok Navarro.
The one is the one that I've played the least.
Mm.
Yeah.
I have beaten it, but I think I only beat it once. Two and three, I beat two. I beat a shitload of times. Three, I beat a couple times.
You
I think.
fight him on his ship where he's armed with a laser-sighted rifle and requires a specific strategy to defeat, including
Yeah,
quick time events.
I thought two and four. If you're gonna play Uncharted, just play two and four, and
Don't
that's it.
tell people that.
Just play two and four.
Don't tell people that. The whole series is a good series. Are two and four the best ones? Yes. But that doesn't mean one and three are bad.
Play two and
Oh,
four.
oh, oh, here's the one that the Final Fantasy one that Matt was wrong about.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Was Sephiroth coded to have 1 HP and have a time-based death? Because he
In
was
the
like,
in the
yeah,
final,
he didn't say, he just said Sephiroth's whole boss like fight is 1 HP and it's time gated. He didn't say those exact words, but it was inferred from what he was saying that the whole thing Sephiroth was just 1 HP.
but I think he's talking about because you have a big fight with Sephiroth where he's a giant monster and you use the entire party to fight different sides of him. But then there's the part where it cuts and you're just Cloud versus Sephiroth 1v1 and you use Omni Slash.
Correct. That wasn't made clear which he was talking about. I thought he was thinking that the whole fight, both sides are just like the top one is time gated and you're just attacking until that time is lifted and then it goes into the scenario. So I thought he was saying that it originally only had one life. That's how I took it whenever I listened to it twice. Both times it felt the same. And I was like, what? But for clarification, the final boss form, the safer Sephiroth with the wings and everything, has a base of 80,000 HP. It can be increased up to 400,000 based on certain conditions. I don't know what those are. I didn't see what made it that, but it can be anywhere between 80,000 to 400,000. The final fight, yes, Sephiroth has a lot of HP during the main boss battles, but in the very final scripted encounter, he's designed to have 1 HP for narrative purposes. Yes. So it could be what you were talking about. I took it as you're fighting it only until the time period, and then you go into the final thing. Like, oh, you said all of Sephiroth is just 1 HP.
Yeah, I was researching, and that's like the little thing I found out, and I probably didn't break it down like you just did. I just put it all as one thing.
Or you probably interpreted it as that, and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, that was a cool thing.
yeah,
So,
it could have been that, but I do remember doing my research for that episode, and I saw that. I'm like, oh shit, I never
and
knew this. I'm going to share with the class.
you did the you did the Hamilton thing.
Yeah.
I believe it was Hamilton. If they couldn't find an actual factoid for it within like 10 seconds, then they wouldn't use it. Then they did like a minute of factual, like much more digging, and if it
Hmm.
stayed, then it got up to another. It's going to stay in the thing, and then further until they had to cut things, and then they went down the list of things that were iffy and whatnot. So I think that's probably what happened there.
Probably, yeah.
This next one I'm excited for because I want to tell a story. Uh,
No,
Okay. Story time with
no.
James. Yay, Mark
it's
John.
Possible. Let's put a possible editor's
pretty.
mark here.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Oh no, you'll want to. You'll want to. Is John the king of Street Fighter?
Never said I was.
Yeah, but you wanted to take that throne from the person who said that they were.
Oh no, Matt. Matt says that he is.
Correct. But the fact that you're pretty much you to from what was stated, you demolished Matt nearly 10 out of 10 times.
I want to take the belt and put it back up on the pedestal and let everybody else fight over it.
Oh, okay. Okay. See, I wanted
Matt, you're Roger Moore in The Quest. Remember when he tried to steal the Golden Dragon? The Quest with Jean-Claude Van Damme? You're Roger Moore in The
Yes.
Quest. You didn't win the fighting tournament. You tried to steal it with a fucking hot air balloon or something. That's you. Anyway, I'm sorry. Proceed.
so a fun little story, and there's witnesses that day, like DJ and a couple others.
You beat me with grapples only.
I beat him with grapples only. It was a perfect and grapples only. Like I just he would like punch, I'd jump away, come back, grapple, punch, jump away, grapple, and now I think that helped John because of the humiliation from it. He's like,
Oh, thanks,
I
James.
never, I
Matt,
never
I
want
would
to play
stay
this.
real quiet for this part. That was you.
Shut the fuck up, John.
The guy who got beaten grapples only bodies you. So, do I remember
You
that
don't
screenshot?
body me.
You remember that screenshot where it's 2 wins and 10 losses? I bring it up if it's a Facebook memory. I repost it every year when it comes up.
Yeah, I do. But there was also that time where I beat the shit out of you, where I had a ass, where I
Trying to
had
see.
like
Let me see where
5
I
or
can find
7.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any pictures or screenshots or
Because I'm not petty like you are.
I mean, maybe
I
you
don't.
should be.
I'm not petty like you are, and I need to remind everybody that this thing happened over 10 years ago to feel good about myself.
This is how I remind you that I fucked you up.
But anyways, I have stated on this show before that you and James are probably the only 2 people that are better than me at Street Fighter.
The only people
Like in the
Yeah,
world?
in the world.
as far as people that I know.
As far.
Yeah, as far.
As
Although,
far as I know.
See, I was
and
so worried that whenever I was going to tell that, John was going to decline, like deny it. And I was like, there's witnesses. I was just so worried.
I
know,
also used to drink a lot. And it would raise my confidence would go up and my skill would go down.
I think it was really eye opening at that moment, though.
but in similar context, I think I've done the same for Ed because there was a day I just beat the dog piss out of him. It was like 0 to
Why
15.
did he have dog piss in him?
King of the scrubs. I'm king of the scrubs.
And he made a decoration to take me down. He hasn't quite accomplished that yet, but
Declaration.
he's gotten close. Like he's gotten really good over the years. I give him that, but he still can't beat me.
Could you say he's gotten really good if he still can't be?
Hey, he's improved, and like I say, we've gotten to the point where we mostly tie him in our bouts.
They're both equally bad now.
I keep telling John to get Street Fighter Five so that way we can play that, and I can beat the
Um,
shit out of him.
yeah, I think I'm good on.
Because
I,
you're fucking afraid.
I I really don't think that that's what it is.
You know what? For next season, our last episode of that season, we should do like a live video of us playing Street Fighter.
I could if we all do it on PlayStation, I could you could record an hour at a time and I could freely edit the footage without having to or I could stream the entire thing and download the whole fucking that can be we can do that. I have the technology to do that.
I
If you
have
buy it
the
digitally, I
technology.
will have it digitally.
Do you
But
have
I don't
my
have.
account?
No, I would have to get it.
The
You have
Jimmy
mine.
I think you
Well,
do have Street Fighter 4 digitally on your account, but that's
I'm.
I
But
said five
that's not
fuck
five. Yeah.
five. Fuck five. Why would we do five? Four is the best.
because five is all right. Like yeah, four is the best, but
Matt wants to have a fighting game tournament with a game that I've never played.
That tea
it's
kettle
Street
almost
Fighter.
erupted. Did you see that? He was like,
It's Street Fighter. How have you not played Street Fighter?
I played four.
God damn it, John.
We've all played four
the fun
extensively.
thing. The funny
Down
thing
forward punch.
is he's
Down.
trying to call us out on a game that we both don't own. We're not going to buy, and he's going to be like, "I'm the winner."
I would not do that.
Now I know I've probably
John would
told
do
this
that.
story. I've probably told this story before, but when Dragon Ball Fighters came out, Matt had gotten it, and he brought it over. He had it physically. He brought it over, and he was like, "It's like a fighting game I've never played before." So he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna beat you in this," and he did. But then he forgot the disc at my house, and it never fucking happened again, did it?
Actually, it has.
No, it hasn't.
I have plenty. I had plenty of footage on my PlayStation.
Weird. Where did it go? Because I have footage from 10 years ago of me whipping your ass in a bunch of games, and I still have all that footage. What? That's so crazy. And yours just disappears? Hmm.
I had a factory reset my PlayStation. You know this.
You didn't have to. That's the funniest part. His Wi-Fi router was fucked up, and he thought it was his PlayStation, so he factory reset his PlayStation.
Yeah, so all that good footage is lost. Now I can't prove it.
Convenient.
It's not convenient, but also like I said, I'm not petty like you are. I can like reflect on these and feel good about myself. I don't need to display it.
Maybe you
I
should.
think you do. I think you do need to display it because nobody believes you.
Okay, you might be right, James. So that way I could shut John up.
On to the next one.
This is fun.
On to the next one. Everybody's favorite episode, RPG and Bad Words.
That one.
I
I found out you could say retard on Spotify and went a little crazy, and then we backpedaled on that a lot. You can, but yeah, like that doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, there were a couple episodes that Matt went off with that word.
You can poop in your hand and throw it at the wall. That doesn't mean you should.
I think he said it almost as many times as I said Riot Shield, like in one episode.
It's a suitable word, okay?
You can. There are other words to express yourself.
Dumb as fuck is a good one.
Yeah, even that is lifetimes
That's too
better.
many. That's too many syllables.
Oh, so you don't want to beat them down with more words. You'd rather just use one.
Who am I beating down? Like
Verbally.
It's
You
one
said-
more syllable.
You said I'm not going to say the word, not me. You said he had an R face. Like you're beating him down with
Yeah.
2 words. You could have said dumbass face. That's
Beating
three
me off with
words.
words.
Yeah. Beat him off with words. Yeah. John
Yeah.
deciding whether to cut it out or not.
No, no, it's staying. It's staying. All this is staying.
Yeah.
I'll probably just cut out some of the gaps and leave this raw so far.
Yeah.
Like,
The next one pisses me off.
good. Fuck
Okay.
you.
Well, it's gonna be very frustrating for y'all too. Um, and I still do it to this day. So Titus
Titus.
is pronounced Titus.
Yeah.
Yeah. John does it just for humor value, but it is pronounced Titus.
Yeah. It's
It's
annoying.
Titus.
They never say
No,
his name in the game.
they do it in Kingdom Hearts. They did it in a couple of the other Final Fantasy games. Um, and there, where is it?
I heard the voice actor for him from the game confirm that it is Titus, which is
Yeah,
annoying. I will say Titus when I read it. I read it as Titus.
same. But the name means sun in the Okinawa dialect, and Yuna means moon. So it's supposed to be uh
Sun and Moon.
there's no tai in Japanese phonetics. It's a i e u e o, so it'd be t.
I saw an
Um,
interesting a
It's
quick
called
little
Titus.
quick little yeah, quick little tangent here. There is a great video game podcast I've mentioned before called State of the Arc, ARC, which is really really fucking good. And one of their more recent episodes, they did a quick like 25-minute episode about remember towards the beginning of Final Fantasy X, there's a part where Yuna tells Titus to like laugh and he does this really cringy like ah ha 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 ha. Well, that's what they're theorizing is that is based on a Japanese ceremony where like it's socially inappropriate to do things like that in public. Not like you're going to go to jail or anything, but there is a I forgot the name of it. There's a ceremony where people get together and they do things like that, and you're supposed to laugh off like all of the stress of the year and things like that. And people like it's something that you don't do in public, so everybody gets together and kind of does it to kind of shake off the stress of the year. And I thought it was really interesting. And shameless plug, I don't know them, they don't know me. We're not sponsored, but State of the Arc on Spotify. Absolutely check them out. They're fucking amazing.
nice.
But yeah, that was like
Yeah.
a more recent episode.
Yeah, I gotta say, with the Japanese culture, they are very respectful of being in public. It goes so far as like when they go to shows, because I've like listened to podcasts about punk bands and stuff, and they say it's like the craziest thing is that the audience would stand there very quietly in between sets and be very respectful, wait for the band to get on stage, and then when the band starts playing, that's when the audience, goes crazy and starts to enjoy the music. But as soon as the band is done, they stop and they pay attention to the stage.
Yeah.
And the respect that they have for being in public, it's pretty impressive. Unlike here in America, where you get a bunch of loud ass people.
Yeah. Related to what John said, because that had to do with video games and not what you said. Um, uh, with the new Final Fantasy cards that are coming out, there's actually one that it's Tidus and Yuna on it, and they have little flavor texts at the bottom, little fun tidbits that are either from the game or to fix. That's what they're called. They're called flavor text.
Can
All
you
right, calm
taste
down.
them?
Yes. Anyway,
It tastes like paper.
a lot
Does
of
it
people are
scratch a
losing.
sniff?
Yes. Don't fucking scratch those cards.
Everyone,
um,
do a video of you scratching magic cards and send it to James.
my heart. So at the bottom of it, the flavor text actually says, ah ha 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 ha. When in the game and everywhere else, it's ha 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 ha. And everybody is losing their damn mind because they put an A first.
Immersion is ruined. I bet
I'm
I have that clip on my Switch somewhere. I could fact check that shit.
I have a few Final Fantasy groups that I'm in, and everybody is losing their damn mind over this card. Uh,
Does it
ooh,
make it super rare or something?
no, it's just what
But
they
then,
did.
Oh my lord.
Here's another Final Fantasy one, fun one. John, did you ever find out who Jacob was?
What do you mean, Jacob?
Jacob. Whenever
From what game?
it was like a whole 10-minute tangent of Matt convinced that some dude's name was Jacob because he said it first. And you're like, oh yeah, Jacob, the one with the long sword and the red outfit
Oh,
and his
no, no,
arms
no.
and
What I was doing is Matt was like, what was that guy's name? And I just threw out a name that was wrong on purpose. The
yeah.
guy's name
And
is
then he was like,
Zach,
oh
I
yeah.
think.
No, no, it was Orin. He was talking about Orin.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that's right. I was like,
Yeah.
Jacob. His name's
He's
Jacob.
like, he's like, is it Orin? And you're like, no, it's Jacob. He's like, okay, like gaslit the fuck out of him.
I was fucking with him. That's messing with you.
So a interesting one. You asked about the EXP share in Pokemon.
Okay,
Like when did
what?
it change and when did it get implemented and all that kind of stuff. So apparently with Gen 1, it connected to only one other Pokemon, and I believe it did 50-50. And then if you
Wait.
did any other, go ahead.
Okay. Didn't mean to cut you off, but I played Gen 1 a lot, which would be red, blue, and yellow. How did you XP share? Because I was never aware of that.
You can't
There was an
attach
item.
items. You can't attach items to Pokemon in Gen 1. That was
You
until Gen
can't?
2.
It was an
Yeah.
Okay.
EXP all.
But what
EXP
about
all.
the
It was an
X?
item. It was an item that you got.
Oh, so if you got that item, then you could attach it to one Pokemon, and that would
Sorry.
be 50-50 share for Gen 1.
No, you can't
Uh,
attach items to
in
specific
Gen
Pokemons in
1,
Gen 1.
when the item known as EXP All in English, if it's in the bag, EXP All halves the experience and stat experience earned by that player's Pokemon that participated in the battle in order to distribute experience and stat experience to all party members.
Oh,
That's
okay.
cool. So it's just in your bag. Because I know in Gen 2 they introduced you could have a Pokemon like hold a potion. So as they're about to die, they'll
Yeah.
Yeah.
just use it.
If they holds an EXP share, then the total experience and stat experience earned when opposing Pokemon faints is split in half, when with 50% evenly distributed between all non-fainted Pokemon who participated in the battle, and 50% evenly distributed between all non-fainted Pokemon holding an EXP share. So if you did it between, like, say you swapped out with two, it would do 50% between those two. And then how many do you have? Five, six Pokemon?
6.
Six. So four would get the other 50%. So it'd be 12.5%.
Hmm.
It's almost
Gen
not worth it at that point. Go ahead.
Gen 3 to 5, if a non-fated Pokemon in the party holds the XP share, the total experience earned when an opposing Pokemon faints splits in half, with 50% evenly distributed between all non-fated Pokemon who participated in the battle, and 50% distributed between all non-fated Pokemon holding EXP share. In Generation 3 and 4, any Pokemon that gains experience also gains all EVs awarded in that battle. From Generation 5 onward, any Pokemon eligible to gain experience, even if they are at level 100, gains all EVs awarded to that battle. And then 5, the amount of experience that Pokemon receives from battle is dependent on the different levels of the defeated Pokemon and the Pokemon gaining the experience. This difference is applied and distributed between the total experience among the party. And then with 6, it's now a key item. It can be turned on or off from the bag menu in the overworld. If it's enabled, Pokemon that do not participate in the battle only gain 50% of the possible experience. Any Pokemon eligible to receive experience, including the level 100 EVs, the same thing for that one. And then Legacy, for Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, EXP share is not an attainable item. So yeah, those are the differences between them. It just became something that you could turn on or off later.
Yeah, I played 1 and 2 and then stepped out for generations 3 through 7 and then played Gen 8, which was Shield, and then stepped out again.
So you
Yeah.
never played like Pokemon Sun and Moon, or
No.
Wow,
I didn't.
that movie's really good.
I was super obsessed through Gen 1 and 2, and then kind of got over that. And I went back. I mean, they're still solid. I like turn-based RPGs. They're still solid turn-based RPGs. But yeah, I just
Yeah,
I
I did
would.
one, two, and three, then played Y, and then Shield, and that's the extent of everything.
I did
Uh,
Shield. I also did Arceus, which the story, we've mentioned it before. The story is offensively stupid. But the game, the new mechanics for the game, the streamlined battle system, I thought was great. The fact that you have to like sneak up on Pokemon and like physically throw the balls at them, I thought it was really good. Just if you can get past that story, which is just bad, so bad. But the game itself, I thought was pretty fun.
The next one was which studio makes Killer Instinct?
Rare.
yeah.
Yeah, but none of y'all knew that answer that day. Matt was the only
No.
Matt was the only one that says, "Is it rare?" And then John was like, "I don't know."
See,
Um,
I fucking knew.
It seems out of if you look at their other games, it seems kind of out of character for them. But yeah, it was them.
How
well,
is it out of
okay,
character for them to make a really awesome game? You
Well, I
look at
mean,
Donkey Kong.
yeah, I was gonna say compare it to like Donkey Kong. I mean, the themes in that game, Killer Instinct is really violent, and you could throw people off buildings, and there's a werewolf that like bites people and shit. And Donkey Kong is like you're a happy monkey with a tie who collects bananas.
Donkey Kong does not look happy. He always looks pissed off.
Well, they stole his bananas.
so they were the overall creator. They had it from 94 to 96, and then W Helix Games got the next one that was in 2013, Iron Galaxy. I don't know Iron Galaxy.
Me neither.
I didn't play
Is
that.
24 to 2017, and then 23 and beyond.
I remember when the newer Killer Instinct came out, and you could play as, I believe, Jago, which is the ninja guy with the sword. Like
Yes,
the game costs $5, but you only get that character. And if you want the other characters, I think it was $5 per character,
that's
totaling
bullshit.
totaling out to like $60 or a full price game. So I think there's like 12 characters total, but it's $5 per. But this was a long time ago. Like I'm remembering this from when it came out. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And I was like, I mean, it makes sense. It was still like $60 if you wanted the full game, but just that I was like, nah.
So fun tangent tidbit kind of thing. Iron Galaxy worked on some of the Iron Arkham games, but it was making it port to PC.
They did
Um,
that shit.
yeah, the Iron Galaxy worked on the Windows port of Batman Arkham Origins and Arkham Knight. Uh,
I would erase that off my
and
fucking
then
resume.
and then they worked on the Switch ports for some games. They did the Skyrim port. They
Okay,
did
not bad.
the Diablo 3 port. Uh,
I've played that. You
and
can be
then
Ganondorf.
Dauntless and Overwatch and Apex Legends. Uh, and then also the Metroid was it was also one of the support studios that helped Retro Studios and the 2023 Metro Prime Remastered.
No, okay.
So they're in the back, but they're helping. Uh,
Some of those are good, some of those are not.
Actually published games were Capsule Force and Video Ball. Dive Kick. Have you seen Dive Kick? I
That
think.
sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Dive kick?
They helped out with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, like the remake right now that just came out
Oh,
or is coming out. I don't know. Uh, okay, back to other stuff. Um, the next one was games we played from 2024. Again, it's hard to find questions unless it's like something randomly distinctly asking, because then you're giving your experience for, oh, this is why I was playing it. I enjoyed this part of it, you know? So this this had nothing to do with video games. Um, but I don't remember who asked it, but it said, how does Biff have all this power and where's the military and the rest of the world?
Yeah, the almanac.
Uh,
John asked that question.
so, or was it? Alternate history is what I looked up. So in Back to the Future Part 2, a nightmarish alternate history or alternate version of Hill Valley. Where was it? Gambling was then legalized in 1979. His toxic waste reclamation plants were built downtown, polluting the air and leading to pollution alerts to be issued. All the local businesses in downtown area closed or relocated, and were replaced with strip clubs, porn theaters, and brothels. Then he bought off the police. Consequently, crime increased and biker gangs settled into the city. Public schools burned down, and the courthouse was converted into Biff's Tan and Pleasure Paradise Casino Hotel.
But
Uh,
what's the issue?
hold on. You guys were asking how does nobody stop this guy? Uh, where was it? According to the original script. For Back to the Future 2, a partial view of the alternate 2015 was also to be depicted. By this time, Biff now owns half the state of California, with
Fuck
his
yeah.
influence having gained his son, Biff Jr., the seat of governor, and they uphold their power and corruption with an army of large, powerful cyborg police officers, which now has its five-star resort in what would have been the courthouse mall in 2015. So he
Okay.
he he had already gained power in trying to prevent anybody from stopping him. He was Fisk of the Back to the Future.
Pretty much.
It's pretty fucking cool. Good for him, you know?
Coming on up in the world.
But that was the only one from that one. So yeah, it's hard to find stuff in those ones. Remakes we want to see. Um so you had an opinion about Tiny Tina.
Oh yeah, it's not DLC, isn't it? Or
Correct.
they
It is.
expanded it.
So the thing is Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep is the Borderlands 2 DLC. It's about 5 hours in length, 11 hours if you want 100% complete it. Tiny Tina is, if you just rush the campaign, about 16 hours in length. And if you want 100% it, it's about 50 hours to 100% completion. So it's still just a fun looter shooter,
That sounds
destroying
like
everything.
it sounds like a full-on Borderlands game.
Yeah, it is. It's not intended. It's not a DLC. It's a full 60. That's why you're paying $60 for it or
I
whatever price it is.
I thought it was gonna be
I
like
got it
another
for free
Miles
from
Morales.
PlayStation Network.
I got it.
Mm-mm. This has a good amount,
I had a
Well, now I'm gonna go play it.
it was the
right?
PlayStation Plus premium thing, but they had added Miles Morales, and I played that, and still really cool. But I thought it like how short it was. It was really disappointing.
It's a really good DLC.
That's what I
That's all.
assumed Tiny Tina's Wonderland is, and even so, like I'm done with Borderlands. Like I'm good. It was a really
I
cool
would.
idea, and then I'm
4
good.
comes out later this year.
It does.
It's
I
the
do want
same.
to get
You
it.
kill everybody, walk up to a terminal, hold square, go back, turn in the mission. You could skip every bit of dialogue, and it's all the same shit. Collect
See,
guns,
that's
kill
why he's never going to
everybody,
play
hold
MMOs,
square. But yeah, it's the same. It's rinse and repeat the same crap over and over and over
Says
and
the
over again.
guy that plays fucking survival wars.
Yeah, well, you don't do the same shit over and over in all
Yes,
of
you
those.
do.
And
You
there's
sneak
multiple
around.
ways. There's
You
multiple
sneak
ways to.
around. You conserve
all 3 of them.
ammo. Like,
You don't have to sneak around. You don't have to conserve ammo. You don't have to play the game the same way every time. I'm saying
but
it's just
that's
a
the
personal
most
preference.
optimal. That's the most optimal way to play those games. Because if you just run and gun, you're gonna find yourself in a shitty situation fast.
I
So
just thought I didn't really notice it until like we were playing Borderlands 3 together, and we weren't. It wasn't that like. Well, I mean, I didn't think the story was very captivating, but to be fair to the story, I mean, you and I were talking the whole time. We were having conversations and talking about
yeah,
things. So
to
we were
me,
just kind of skipping everything. And that's when I noticed it's like you talk to a character, they give you a quest. You go to the objective marker, kill everybody who's there, hold square at a terminal, go back to the person who gave you the quest, hold square to turn it in, and then do that over and over and over and over and over again.
You don't hold
That's the
square,
whole
you
game.
press square.
You press square, hold square. Oh
Dude,
shit. Sometimes you press it, sometimes you hold it. Fuck, I didn't even know.
at the end of the day, most video games have the same mechanics and you pretty much do the same thing.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
There's so many games with like a variety of things you can do and a
You
million
know what's
different
even
ways to
wilder?
tackle a situation. What?
Killing, shooting, getting things, and then going over to a typewriter, and then going over, killing, shooting things, going back over to a typewriter. Killing.
That's not But that's not how you do that. You make a decision based on like how often you're going to go
You,
in that room. You look at the map, and
I
often you
could
don't
make a
want to
this.
go. You don't want to save often. You need to be really thoughtful about when you save and when you don't save because you could fuck yourself out of a good grade, or the number of saves in the game is limited.
Getting other gear, expanding your inventory, being able to kill things faster, choosing between a sniper rifle or an SMG. I'm not understanding how diversity is the problem.
Well,
He's just nitpicking at this
I just
He
point.
thought it
is, he
was.
is,
I just
he
thought it was
is.
boring. I just thought it was boring.
Well, I could tell you from playing it without you and not skipping the story. The story is relatively interesting. It's not as good as two so far. Borderlands
No,
2 is the
three
best
was
game.
three was not great. It was better than two
Nah,
and a half or the
yeah,
1.5. Sorry.
yeah, but eh, I do find the villains to be a little annoying, and that one girl who is that you help, and she gets the other siren killed by not listening.
Yeah.
She's really fucking annoying because if she would have listened, I'm guaranteed that other siren that you meet would have lived and survived that situation. But
Yeah, it
because
was it
she had to
was
be involved,
it was definitely an interesting twist because I was like, oh my God, it's crazy if this would happen. And usually whenever I say stuff like that, it usually happens, which is frustrating sometimes because then I already know what's going on. But
right?
it it was interesting to see the storytelling that they did to make those things happen. Was it
Yeah,
kind of dry going that direction? Yes, but it wasn't a bad game. Mechanically, it worked a little bit smoother than the previous ones.
yeah.
That's the minimal that we can ask. The storyline, we wanted it to be better. I think they're just setting up because did you beat it?
Not yet. I haven't beaten it
Uh,
yet.
if you beat it, you're gonna have a lot of questions, and you're gonna. I haven't seen the trailers for four, but it opens up a lot of questions, and I think that's what people were complaining about because now the game is being even more expansive.
Yeah.
It's
I
already
mean,
a big open world.
I can, I can, I can take it if as a setup for three, if four comes in and is really good. Like the storytelling is really good, the mechanics are great. Like as long as three's a setup and they deliver with four, I'll be cool with that.
Yeah,
But if they fail and fall with four, I'm like, you Gearbox fucked up.
yeah.
Also,
Uh,
they did Duke Nukem Forever, so I am extremely hesitant to give them any money.
Well, you know
Like,
what, John? Stop being a bitch.
well,
Simple as
no.
that.
How about
it's like I don't wanna.
when you don't like something, we'll have a discussion about it. But when I don't like something that you like, it's like, will you stop being a bitch? There's no argument there. They're just insulting me.
I
You have
wanted to
no
stop being bad at Street Fighter, and I mean, it's just it can't be fixed.
you have no points to contest my points. You just insult me.
Well,
Well,
the reason
Your,
why
your face, your dumb
the
face.
reason why I'm insulting you is because you are looking for all this negative shit.
I just want to have fun, and it's not.
It is fun.
That's all it is, in my opinion. I thought it in my
I
opinion,
mean,
and that
running around killing things. I mean, like you are really. I believe you really are nitpicking just to look for excuses not to enjoy the
I already don't enjoy it. I don't need to find excuses.
game.
That part's covered.
All right, that's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, but moving on from
Now we're in the video game industry crash, which uh I think I was in that episode. Um Matt was right and I was wrong about something. You're not going to hear that often.
I'll cut this part out.
Okay,
No, you
thank you.
won't.
Well, we were talking about whether it was the DS or 3DS that lost its chat capabilities,
It's the
and it
DS.
was it was the DS, the DS Lite, and the DSi. It was a thing called PictoChat, and it was
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
on the 3DS.
That's why I question so the chat capabilities on the Switch are extremely limited. They have that app. I
Hmm.
know Fortnite and Friday the 13th, you can plug your headset into your Switch and play portably and you can chat with people. But other than that, it's extremely limited. And I wonder if it's a hardware limitation or if it's because of the PictoChat incident that
It's
they were like,
because of the pickle chat incident.
The Pickle
So
Chat.
yeah, you need you need the application for the Switch to chat with other people,
it's ass. Sorry, good.
and you can only talk to people that are your friends.
Yeah.
You cannot openly just talk to anybody. You have to send them a friend request in order to talk to them through this chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo is because of that incident. Like they understand that people want to chat, and they're looking at Xbox and they're looking at Sony, and they're like, well, they have this open chat and things like that. But Nintendo doesn't want to revisit what happened with the DS, so they make things difficult. To be fair, I don't blame them. And it's a better alternative than them just shutting everything down and saying, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah. Next slide in Discord. One that you guessed, but you guessed correctly, John, was the Suez Canal one of the reasons for the PS5 microchip shortage?
So they tried to do
So
a
it
pop shove
was.
it in the fucking river with a boat. That shit, I looked at it, I was like, that's not how that works. Like,
Boats don't go that
well,
direction.
I guess they would have to go like really, really, really far to be able to turn around. And they were like, let's just try to spin it right here.
I
Like,
feel like you'll find some kind of humor in the name of the ship, uh, Ever Given.
Ever given
I don't
the
Okay, yeah,
irony.
know.
yeah, the Ever Given ship getting stuck in the Suez Canal did contribute to the PS5 chip shortage. The blockage disrupted global shipping and supply chains, including those for the components used for the PS5, exacerbating
Masturbating.
yeah, the existing semiconductor shortage, which was the piece that everybody needed for graphics cards for the Series X, and it was actually a lot of vehicles, the smart vehicles. Yeah. Um, I had to look this one up. It was the Call of Duty episode, and it was like one of the first fucking things.
Is
Is
Thief?
Helen Keller immune to flashbangs?
She would be.
No.
How would she not
Blind
be?
blind and deaf people are not immune to the effects of flashbangs. There's the whole thing on this. While the blindness might mitigate the visual effects of the flash, the sound and disoriented nature of the flashbang can still impact individuals who are deaf and have hearing impairments. The disorienting effects, such as balance disruption and temporary deafness, can still affect individuals regardless of their ability to see or hear.
How do they find that out?
Lab test, duh.
When somebody, and I'm not talking about hearing impaired. I'm like, she can't hear at all. You could stand right next to her face and scream, and you won't get a reaction.
Well, also, it's the concussive waves that make,
Yeah, it's the impact from it. Yeah.
yeah. So you're gonna
Okay.
feel that shit.
Uh, and the only other one that was in there was did Call of Duty have campaigns? And I found out that they did
No,
not have campaigns. Yeah,
none of them. Not one. Never
no.
ever. Even the ones before the internet.
Yeah, they were only online.
Yeah.
Uh, Black Ops 4 was the only one that did not.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, a lot of people were pissed off about that one. I want my campaign.
What does that even
Uh,
mean?
right? Fuck is a
You know,
campaign?
the final boss in Turok is called the Campaigner, which is just weird.
It sounds sexual.
It does, doesn't it? And that's just the first one for the N64. It's the Campaigner. Wouldn't you be the campaigner since you're going through the campaign? Whatever.
Uh, that's all I had for Call of Duty. Now, switch to in random conversations.
Yep.
Uh,
There's a short one.
s- so I already explained the difference between 1080p and 4K. But one of the things you, Matt, were asking if the graphics were going to be the same or not. I don't know if you've gotten this information by this time, but the regular Switch and even the OLED are 720p in handheld mode and 1080 in the dock mode.
Right.
The Switch 2 is going to be 1080p handheld and 4K. No, sorry, yeah, 4K in dock mode. So
Huh.
it's going to have that capability. Uh, but with things that are so small, you almost will never see a difference. A lot of people didn't really see it whenever it was the OLED and the original, but it is like light enhancement and a lot of that kind of stuff that is different between an OLED screen and the regular LCD screen.
Right.
Uh, but there a controversial word is going to be in the next one, because you wanted to know if I'll leave the word out. The tariffs that are being implemented recently, whether they were going to affect the pre-orders for the Switch 2. They won't affect the prices of the Switch 2 itself. The accessories look like they're going to be more expensive. And
Hmm.
it did put a halt on pre-orders for about 2 weeks. So it
Yeah.
didn't necessarily stop it. They wanted to figure out how much they'd be able to send to the States before they tried to give pre-orders to so and so, which can still change in the upcoming weeks because if there decides to be tariffs, I don't know. I think they'll have to chalk it up and pay the extra. Or a lot of people are going to be upset that they don't get their switches because they're going to cut back on pre-orders.
Okay,
Um,
quick question about that. And now, obviously, this is a political free podcast, but this is still like business. So I'm not up to date with what is going on with tariffs. But I heard a rumor that there was a a stoppage to the tariffs. Is that correct?
so if it happened within the last week, I don't know. I've been listening to this podcast that I was forced to listen to really, really fast at 1.8 times speed. I haven't been able to get caught up because it took about 3 days of absolute dedication listening to nothing else. My Dungeons and Daddies podcast I don't get to listen to. Just some crazy guys talking about video games. So I don't know if there's an update. Do you know, John?
Not particularly, no. I don't want to the only thing I know is political opinions, and I don't want to like
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't want
no
to get into
political
that.
opinions. We don't do politics on here,
I don't know
but
anything that's like stone cold fact.
right.
So,
So
But the
the
import of products and tariffs, that's all business side of things. That's the only reason why I'm bringing up the tariffs. Now, the people
yeah.
who make that decision are people that you vote for, but we don't talk about those people.
Well, we can argue that just about anything is political. I mean,
yeah.
and then you could justify that anything is business. We're talking about different sides of the business, and that entails with tariffs, with shipping, with
Yeah.
receiving, with all these things. So it can easily be argued in a whole bunch of directions, but we're
Hmm.
talking about the financial justifications and whatnot. So
Yeah.
yeah. But this information that I had found was specifically a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't even have like a today's date kind of thing. So even your question, unfortunately, I don't have the answer for that.
Okay.
What
That'll
was
be
the
the
word
next.
you didn't want to say?
God damn it, John.
What was the word?
But I was gonna say that I was gonna say that if the tariffs were ceased, that would mean the import of the accessories and stuff, the price would not be increased. But that's only if the government has decided to put a cease on tariffs or not. And that's the only information
Possibly.
I was
Yeah.
looking for. But because if the tariffs are still in place, then the pricing for the accessories and everything else is going to differ.
In theory, yes. We would like to think so. Um, Nintendo's a very powerful company. If they say that they're going to put something at this price and make you pay it, we're probably going to pay it.
True.
So,
Yeah.
Tariff or no
Ni-
tariff, they're Nintendo's like, this is price, you pay.
I've always said that they are the Apple of video games, and they never do discounts because we already know we're going to buy it. It's going to be
Mm-hmm.
very frustrating. Everybody was pissed off whenever they went to $70 games. Guess who's still going to buy it? Everybody.
Yeah.
That's the thing. A lot of the stuff I'm hearing people about, like I'm seeing a lot of videos on TikTok of people complaining about stuff Nintendo's doing about how like you won't own um your digital games, or I think they have like even your physical games, a lot of them they won't be on the cartridge. That has been a thing since the PS3. And people are
Mm-hmm.
upset that oh, the people are upset that Doom the Dark Ages, like the game's not on the disc. That's been a thing. Like not every game does that, but like everybody is pointing the finger at Nintendo and getting upset with Nintendo for stuff that has been a staple in the video game industry since like the PS3. And people are upset with Nintendo saying that they're doing like we're not going to own our games. If you have a digital library on your PlayStation 5 or your PlayStation 4 and you lose internet access, you could still play those games for a while, but every once in a while you have to hook it up to the internet so that you can verify that you have access to those licenses to play those games. So without internet access, eventually it's going to cut off your access to those games.
Yes.
It has to, I don't know if it's every 30 days, every 90 days, every year, every 6 months. I don't know what the time frame is, but I've seen it where Margarita's or my wife's brother bought he was given a PS3 for like his birthday or Christmas or something, and it was a used one and it had a downloaded copy of The Last of Us on it from someone else's account that was still on there. And he didn't have access to the password. He was able to play the shit out of The Last of Us. We beat it on Grounded together, and but eventually it just cut him off
Yeah.
after a handful of months. So when people are like, "Oh, we don't," Nintendo's going to make it where we don't actually own our games. You already don't own your games.
Oh yeah.
That's not new. Nintendo's not doing that to us. That's been a thing. But anyway, that's my
No, the
rant.
so the thing is that's being changed is even if you own the cartridge, the physical media is still technically a digital license. Even if you have the physical cartridge, if you don't have the little passcode that goes with it that is claimed that it goes to your Switch, pawn shops are going to be run ridiculous. Like they're not going to be able to sell it. You have to buy another $60 code to be able to put it on another Switch.
But yeah, there are games
Is it?
like Spider-Man 2 on PS5. You put that in your the game is not on the disc.
Mm.
You put that into your PlayStation and it takes like fucking 6 to 8 hours to install before. Even if you wanted to play it without the updates, you can't do that. It's just I don't like I think it sucks, but my main issue is that all these videos I'm seeing are saying that like Nintendo is evil. We should boycott Nintendo because they're doing all these things that have been they've already been well established. It's just people are, I guess, all of a sudden paying attention and blaming Nintendo for it when like PlayStation and Xbox have been doing this, or at least a version
And
of this.
and on top of that, when it comes to copyright practices, Nintendo is very tight knit about their copyrights. And the thing also with copyrights, it's a confusing thing of what you can and cannot do with something that you purchase. Yes, you may be able to purchase something and you essentially can do whatever you want, but there's still limitations to what you can do with the product that you have purchased due to copyright. You do not own the copyright. The company that provides the product owns the copyright, and they have the ability to send you a cease and desist letter based on the
Yep.
usage of that product if they feel like you are damaging their image or brand.
Yeah. On that same topic, I still have about eight more questions, and we're at about the 2 hour mark. So
Yeah.
I don't know how much you want love you want in this episode, but I don't know if you saw this. There's a lot of people complaining that Nintendo is going to have the ability to brick your console if you're doing things that they don't agree with. If you attempt to modify it, if you're doing so and so, and they can just make your console a paperweight.
Well, I saw
Good.
that, and yeah, good. Fuck them. Oh no, we have to obey the law. But I saw that, and there's been a thing. I've been super paranoid about buying used Switch games because if for the Switch One, this has been a thing forever. If you get a bootleg Switch cartridge and you put it into your Switch and you sign in, they will brick your account.
Mm.
I don't know. So if you've spent hundreds of dollars over the past few years on, the Switch eShop, and then you put a bootleg cartridge into your Switch, you no longer have access to your shit. Now, when they're talking about bricking your console, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a workaround for that.
Well, the reason why I say good when I heard the news about the console being bricked is because I've seen people or videos where they're like, oh, yeah, you can jailbreak your PS3 or PS4 or whatever the case may be. And then once you do that and something happens to it, then you take it to the company, bitch and complain that it doesn't work right because you fucked with it. The, these systems are built a specific way for them to work a specific way. And you go and you fuck with that, and then you want to claim the warranty on it. No, fuck you.
I've always thought that, like, my opinion on bootlegging and pirated games, I don't really do it. I have the Switch Classic, the Switch Mini, or the Nintendo Switch Mini, Super Nintendo Mini, fuck, that's hacked with extra
Super
games on
Nintendo
it.
Mini Fuck?
Yeah. That's
Mini fuck.
it's hacked, and I put extra games on it because I wanted more games on it. But other than that, my opinion on it is so, like, if you don't spend money on something that you like, they won't be able to make it anymore. If everybody
Yeah.
bootlegs Zelda because it's the greatest Zelda game ever, there will never be a new Zelda. But so if the Switch 2 comes out and you want to go one past generation, I don't have any problem ethically, like if someone wants to hack the shit out of their PS3 or their PS4, because that's not, especially like, I mean, I know Sony is still making money off of like PS4s, but the PS3 is discontinued. Go fucking crazy. Do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But if you're going to take a brand new console that Nintendo or Sony or someone is still trying to make money off of, you're kind of fucking it up for everybody else. Now, granted, you're one person in a bucket of millions or billions of people that are buying, these consoles and contributing to these companies. But like, yeah, if everybody, that's why there's not a Scott Pilgrim 2, because so many people fucking pirated that movie. It didn't make a lot of money.
Fucking assholes. That's a
But it
good
was
movie.
good. It was really, really good. But the demographic of people who watch movies like that when that movie came out pirate all their shit.
Yeah.
So,
I
like
would be
it's so
so scared of a Scott Pilgrim 2 right now
yeah.
because the movie did wonderful. The video game was really good. The TV series, everybody enjoyed that shit. If they did a Scott Pilgrim 2 and it bombed, that would be
Oh,
that's the scariest fucking
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Even the comic book line was really good for Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah. Well, that was before the movie.
Yeah.
But if you
So
want to take your Switch 2, you could either there's a couple options. You could buy two Switch 2s and do bootleg illegal shit on one and legit shit on the other, or you can just buy a Switch 2, enjoy what's happening now, and then when this console generation's over and it doesn't matter anymore, and Nintendo or whatever video game company is making money on the next generation, then do whatever you want. But if you're
Yeah.
buying a Switch 2 the day it releases and you're gonna jailbreak it and do a bunch of illegal stuff with it, in my opinion, you're kind of an asshole. Like
Yeah.
you're part of the problem. But
Very much so. And it's because of people like that do shit like that, where companies are they fight back on it, and the rest of the regular consumers that don't do things like that are like, well, this company are being assholes for implementing this, when in fact it's the other consumers that do illegal shit that ruin it for everyone else.
that's why I paid that's why I paid full price for the Silent Hill 2 remake, because I wanted Konami to go back into making good games, and I wanted that franchise to make a good solid return. So I voted with my wallet
Yeah.
and I paid full price for it, which is very rare for me to do. But if there's something like that that comes out, like of course I want, if Resident Evil 9 comes out, I'm more than likely, if I can afford it, going to pay full price for it because I want them to keep making Resident Evil. If I didn't want them to make it anymore, I would pirate it. But anyway, yeah, we got more stuff. James has more stuff. We're almost at this is gonna be a long one.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Uh,
It's the final episode of this season, so
No.
so why are Luigi and Mario pretty darn tall, but the like Delfino Plaza and Metro Kingdom, why are they even taller if you said that they were like 5'8" or whatever they said, whatever you said?
Oh yeah, I remember that because you go to the Metro Kingdom and you meet actual human beings, and they all are way taller than Mario.
Yeah, the
Luigi.
Metro Kingdom,
oh, okay, I remember actually on their height.
the city. Yeah, you did. It was one of your trivia questions.
Yeah.
Um, so Metro Kingdom is known as the world of gigantic people, is what it says.
Where the fuck is
The
that? Really?
Metro Kingdom inhabitants are often depicted as significantly taller than the Mushroom Kingdom's characters, including Mario.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're giants essentially.
Weird. That feels
Um,
like they made it and then they looked at it and thought about it, went, "Oh shit."
Insert convenient
Yeah.
explanation here.
right. Um, one y'all got wrong for Matt's own trivia question, which is better In and Out or Whataburger, and it
It's In and Out.
absolutely is Whataburger.
It's
It's
in
In
and
and
In
Out.
and
out.
Out,
Yeah,
In and Out isn't even
100%.
good by
It, it,
itself
it's
without a
two against
category to
one.
go against it. I will never eat at In and Out again in my life.
In and
Why?
out.
What happened? Were you
Is
robbed?
I went to like 8 different In and Outs and they were all just like
Why?
burnt buns. They automatically toast them and it's nasty. Their fries are garbage
Their
as
fries
well.
are freshly cut in the store and put into the fryer. Watch them do it. That's
I
because
Yeah.
what you're
understand.
actually what you're actually tasting is real French fries, which you're not used to. It
That's
doesn't
fine.
come frozen in a bag. They take an actual potato, put it on a slicer, move the lever down, and slice it into the shape of fries. You could see them do it if you go in the restaurant. It's
Yeah,
because you don't like them because you're not accustomed to actual French fries.
that's
This shit
fine. That's fine.
those are
And
real like
And
potatoes
for the
without a bunch of
bun,
bullshit.
you could have asked him for an lightly
I've tried
toasted
it.
or untoasted.
I've tried untoasted and it was still nasty. It just
I've
it's not a
never
good
had
burger
them.
place.
I've never had them burn bun.
Me
Um,
neither.
It's
but
one of
Maybe
the
he
also
just
cleanest.
saw
It's
you.
one of the cleanest restaurants you could eat, and it's won awards for
I,
that.
that's fine. That's great. In fact,
I think you like
but
germs.
yeah, that's it.
No, they saw
That's
James like,
protein and
that
flavor,
guy, fuck that guy.
I don't think they want you to come back. That's why they
right?
fuck your food up.
That is absolutely okay. I'm good. But Whataburger, I mentioned it before, and John still hasn't had the opportunity to go back. You want to go whenever it's breakfast time, 11 p.m. to 11 in the morning, because that's what's the good stuff. You want to get the honey butter chicken biscuits, and you want to get the taquitos, which are just little fucking rolled burrito looking things. Um, and there's a breakfast burger that has chipotle aioli, three little hash brown slices on it, fried egg, a burger, and it's all just smack dab there. It's amazing. It's amazing. I get two of those every time because I'm a fat ass. I get two of those every time I go. It's amazing. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's why Whataburger is better.
Okay.
Um,
You're supposed to fact check us, and you're saying things that are objectively wrong. I don't know. I only went to Whataburger once, and the circumstance kind of outweighed the It wasn't Whataburger. I was having it was a very rough day, and Whataburger didn't help. But that's the only time I ate there.
And then for the some of my favorite, our favorites episode, John had a question. If the Virgil was a DLC for Devil May Cry 5, and he was. He wasn't originally. I think you could probably play for him throughout the original game, but the plus Virgil is a DLC that was added on.
I thought I
Virgil,
mentioned that because
no,
I specifically waited for Devil May Cry Special Edition because I knew they were going to add Virgil as a playable character.
Because yeah,
whether you,
the original version of Devil May Cry 5 when it came out, you could not play as Virgil, and it was not a DLC.
Yeah, I knew that,
yeah.
but that's why I waited for the Special Edition.
Well, then why didn't you say that whenever the episode happened?
I thought I did. I'm
No,
sorry.
he was
I rem
included in the special edition of the game. The DLC pack, which also includes Virgil, was released on December 14th, 2020. Yeah, you let John just ask a question and didn't you? I didn't have to fact check this. You had the answer, Matt.
I did. I totally did.
This
I
is why I
thought I
doubted the
answered
pickles and cucumbers. Like, come on, man.
it.
Uh, then there was another one that y'all asked for a little bit more information on Hawks. The game was shut down in 2015. Where is
I
I had the
remember the
other stuff?
cover. I saw the cover. That I never played the
Yeah.
game.
Uh, it was praised because of big thrills. The first one came out. Y'all already had this answer. Oh, March of 2009, and then the second one came out September of 2010. So it was fairly back to back. Just because it did relatively well, it was received with like sevens, 7 out of 10, 73.5, 72. IGN had it as 6.7 for the PC, but 7.8 for the consoles. Um, it it kind of bombed, but yeah, I was trying to look at it statistically, like how well it did its lifespan, and having what is that, 6 years? If it got shut down with 2015, that's about when the PS4 came out. So I mean, I guess it just died with three. Uh, yeah. And then the online gaming episode. Uh, does Yahoo Pool still exist? It does not. Yahoo Games, which included Yahoo Pool, was shut down. Majority of Yahoo Games were closed on March 31st, 2014, with the remaining games closed February 9th, 2016. Uh, and then, so we talked about Fei Long, and this one was a 2022 article. Capcom says that there are no legal issues preventing Fei Long from appearing in Street Fighter 6.
What the
So
fuck?
it was where was it? I think it was a personal thing. Like he didn't like the person who could have put Bruce Lee into it did not want to offend people. Uh
um, it probably had to do with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Street Fighter
Because
V composer Daniel Lindholm had suggested that Fei Long, who was inspired by Lee and his cinematic appearance in Enter the Dragon, couldn't appear in the series due to his estate, insisting that all depictions of the late action star had to be honorable. Somebody probably said that, but they didn't say you can't have him in the series, you can't have him in something. So
I
I think until he felt that they were in a situation uh, that would be able to represent him honorably.
Is there anything dishonorable about Fei Long's interpretation of Bruce Lee?
um, I
I
think the
said
way
before,
he's
he's like a love
depicted.
letter.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
if
well,
people will
with
probably look
fighting
at the
style.
yeah, people will probably look at the yelps and stuff like that happen, but those are you channeling yourself in the movement. Those are
Hmm.
legitimate things. You practice those in a lot of different martial arts.
Yeah.
So,
And say
The
he
only
did
thing
that.
the only thing I can think of is in Street Fighter V2, the way they depicted Fei Long, he was kind of a dickhead in that show.
Yeah, but that's not canon at all.
mm,
Guile
Still,
murders Zangief. I
Yeah,
watched that.
it's
That's like a 25 episode anime, I think.
yeah,
It was pretty good. It was good. I
yeah.
enjoyed it, but it's not in no way is that Guile
I
murders
agree.
Zangief. Like
Yeah, I know it's not canon and stuff, but I think there's just still a lot of controversy, and people are afraid to use Bruce Lee's image because Quentin Tarantino got a lot of heat and flack from the Lee family
yeah.
for how he depicted Bruce Lee in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, but we already talked about that in the
Yeah.
That's
last
true.
episode.
That, that's very true. Moving on.
uh, I only have one left, and it was from the replay value episode.
Cool.
Uh, and
Tube Guy's better.
it's kind of shitting on Ed. Um,
We love Ed,
Good
by the
shit
way.
on it.
Before this proverbial
well,
shitting
I would love
happens.
for him to tell me what game it was. Which Call of Duty game progressed in difficulty if you shot more people in the campaign or not. So he talked about like the next level would have more or less people depending on how you
Oh,
went through it.
that was like
Nothing.
Hitman. He was talking about Hitman or Splinter Cell.
I'm pretty certain he said Call of Duty.
I
He
remember
did
that.
say
I
Call of
still think
Duty.
I'm pretty sure he was talking about Hitman or Splinter Cell. I still think he's wrong, but I don't think he was talking about Call of Duty.
The topic at that moment was called. He could still be
Maybe.
mentally in Hitman or Splinter Cell or even Metal Gear, um, but there was nothing that I could find for reducing enemy mechanics. The game only scaled off of what the difficulty was.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are 40 factoids that whatever goes better that I was able to find in by listening through everything.
God damn. That's it? Couldn't do 41, 42. Couldn't make it even 47.
42.
Even 47. That's funny. It's funnier
You
than y'all laughed. It deserved more of a reaction than y'all gave it. So
Oh.
no, we're
what?
not going to
What's
stroke
O?
your ego.
Stroke something else. What's O? You said O, like something. What happened? Oh
Uh,
fuck! I didn't hit record. I'm just kidding.
Matt looked real quick.
I'm like, it's recording.
Oh god! Imagine having to do this again.
2.5 hours. God damn it, John.
Season finale.
It would be shorter because we don't remember what the fuck we were talking about beforehand
Yeah.
and those random tangents.
All right.
Oh man. So I think that's about it for us, and that's about it for season one. Thank you for our 13
Hold on.
followers. What?
I got one
No,
thing left to do.
no, god damn it. It's been like
Yes.
3 hours. We're not doing this.
Yes.
It's
It'll take a couple of minutes.
my fucking god damn it. Why do you make it so hard to like you? I'm sorry.
Why can't you shut the fuck up and enjoy the moment? I gotta give the fans what they don't ask for, but they're
We
going
have
to want.
13 followers. Sorry.
Yeah. And they enjoy this, okay?
Already got set up. Already got to
All
set
right, yeah. James is in full support. Fuck you, John. Okay, so
You're the minority.
I don't like the
blind
fact that
rank.
in society that we call anybody who's not white a minority. I
Yeah,
think
that's-
that needs to go away.
Well, nowadays white's the minority, but that's a different
In
topic.
certain states, certain areas, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Especially where we grew up. But
Well,
anyway, anyway.
moving on from that.
It was important.
It
No,
was.
it's not. Blind ranking. These 5 survival horror games.
Oh, it's a good thing I don't play any of them.
Oh, maybe you have, maybe you have. We'll see. First one,
The
Days
Forest.
Gone.
Days
Haven't played it.
Gone. I would not consider that a survival horror.
Yeah, that's not a
It's like
survival horror.
That's a horde looter shooter.
Survival horror is like
So-
7 Days to Die or
Or
because that's
Resident
survival.
Evil. Resident
Resident
Evil
Evil
also-
still wouldn't
resource management. Yeah, Resident Evil was like a pioneer of it. So if we're gonna call that a survival horror, I'll put it at the bottom of the list.
Okay, fine.
That's 5 for me.
Evil Within 2.
That's a pretty good one. 3.
Three. James.
James isn't ranking him.
Oh, I put Days Gone at 4 because I haven't played it. Evil
Okay.
Within, I guess I'll put it 3 too because I haven't played it.
Oh man,
You went
Dino
into
Crisis.
4. It's good, but it's not like it's never captivated me long enough to beat it. I've spent a bunch of time in it, but I never actually finished it. I've gotten really, really far in it multiple times, and I didn't even get stuck. I just kind of stopped.
I put that at 5. So these last two better be good. John and I both
Okay.
have 1 and 2 left.
Resident Evil 5.
2.
Oh, how do I
That's
put
not a
that?
that's not
5.
a survival horror at all.
It's just because it's not that scary. It's still a survival horror.
There's no resource management. There's guns and ammo everywhere. There's
How do I
no
put that at
it's
6?
in any definition that's not a survival horror at all.
That is my
I would
least favorite Resident Evil.
It's
It's a
classified
great.
as a
It's a
survival
cartoon
horror.
game.
It is
It
a
is a
third
cartoon
person.
game.
That is a third person shooter action game.
John,
In no way is that a survival
I
horror
don't
game.
care what your opinion is.
It's not an
When you,
opinion, it's a fact. It's not a
it's
survival horror game at
it's
all.
a survival horror.
it is the most
Capcom's.
campy of Resident Evils. It is nothing but a cartoon.
I love 5. Don't get me wrong,
I
I like
hate.
5. It's great. I like
John and
Capcom
I
5.
beat it the
says
first
Five's
couple days
awesome.
it came out.
I like 5, but it is not a survival horror game. I would barely even call
No,
it a horror game.
survival is like survival in a category by itself is like 7 Days to Die, Ark, The Forest. Like those are survival games. Saying
I
survival
Right.
horror puts it into 7 Days to Die, The Forest. So I, yeah, I don't.
when I hear like survival horror games are especially like so the term was like pioneered with the first Resident Evil. It's about resource management,
Yeah, I get that, but Capcom still
which
says
is
Resident Evil 5 is a survival horror, so fuck you, it's a survival
this
horror.
this is a fucking Nissan Pathfinder. This coffee mug in my hand because I say it is.
You didn't make it, so you don't get to call it what you want.
By the
Dylan.
definition of the terms, it is in no way even close to a survival horror game. I would
Whatever.
barely even call it a horror game. So I guess I'll put that at 2, even though it doesn't belong in this category at all.
Last of Us Part 2. Or Last of Us 2.
Oh yeah, that's number 1 for me, at least.
Damn it.
That's the
Over there
survival horror.
nitpicking.
Resource
Blah,
management.
blah,
I'm just
blah.
there's facts and not
It's a
facts.
favorite favorite.
It's really simple. There's correct and not. There's correct, and then there's what you are. But yeah, I still granted I like even yelling about it, it's making me want to play the game. I have it installed. I love Resident Evil 5, but it's barely a horror game. It has monsters, it's not scary. But survival implies some type of resource management, which there is none. So it's not a survival horror game at all. It's an action game, a really fucking good, in my opinion, a really good one. I love that game, but it's not what you say it is.
Not one of these was a survival game.
There they are. There's another word for. I know what you're talking about, and I get where you're coming from, but like the term survival horror comes from the original line of like Resident Evil games, where you can run out of ammo and you can run out of you need items to save, which are finite, and it's the resource management element of the games make them survival. That's what he's talking about. That's where that term came from. I mean, there might have been like Sweet Home before it might have been one that was like a Japanese NES one. Um,
I was Googling it and it said that was the first one.
Sweet Home.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Resident Evil was inspired by that. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of the word. Like, those are definitely like crafting survival type games. Like, you're not wrong by definition of those words. Like, 7 Days to Die in the Forest are survival and they are horror games. But what Matt is talking about is like the old school Resident Evils and Dino Crisis and Evil Within 2. I would say it's debatable, but if you crank up the difficulty, it definitely is. Like if you play it on easy, it's really now if you're running around Evil Within 2 with a shotgun, just fucking shooting everything's head off. I wouldn't really say that's a survival horror, but if you play that game on hard mode, yeah, it is. You're gonna have
I
like,
I I, I think it's whenever it's resource required, a lot of people are thinking like, oh, you need to be drinking water. Oh, you need to eat.
oh yeah, I don't know what the word for that
That's
is.
that's that's
Yeah,
survival. That's the category of survival.
yeah, those are survival games.
Yeah, but
Also, I remember when John, you told me about Days Gone. You said, "Hey, if you like survival horror games, play Days Gone and play it on the hardest difficulty."
well, yeah,
In
if
your
you like
own
survival
words,
horror games,
He was
in your
trying to get
own
you into a different
words,
genre.
that's like saying if you like hang gliding, you should try riding in an airplane. They're similar, but they are not the same thing.
damn it.
But
At
Days Gone
one,
is great, and I would say play it on hard just because like we've been playing games like that for so long.
He said, "Play it hard."
Yeah, and to go back to what you were saying, James, like yes, those are survival and those are horror games, but I think the term survival horror in video games existed before games like that did. So it kind of puts it in a weird place. You know what I mean?
games like
Like
The
those are
Force.
like the Force is survival horror, but the genre of survival horror video game existed before those
Yeah.
games
Oh,
did.
okay, but
State of Decay.
here's another argument for that. The game there are other games like The Forest where it's just about survival. It's not there's nothing really scary in the game. It's just
There's
you against the
cannibals.
elements.
There's monsters and cannibals and dark caves and
I'm talking
it's
about other games,
oh, I think you said
not The
other games
Forest.
like The Forest. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not talking about The Forest. I'm talking about that style of gameplay. There's other games that exist where there's no monsters or anything like that. It's just you against the elements and managing, you know,
Yeah, like
your
Raft. I mean,
food.
there's a shark that attacks you, but I mean, yeah, but that's still considered survival.
Yeah, those are just strictly survival games. But survival horror are like Resident Evil, Last of Us 2, where like before survival games existed.
Let's say I love those games where like let's say there are six enemies in this room. You have to get through the room. You have three pistol rounds. Figure it out. That's when I think of survival horror, that's what I think of. Now, granted, the technology for video game development has advanced a shitload since that phrase was coined, but now it's just it puts us in a weird place because like you're wrong, but you're not wrong. I mean, those are survival horror. There are survival games that are horror games, but the name of that genre existed before the concept
Uh,
of those games
it's
did.
just it's like with music. You got your genre and then you got your subgenres.
It's not like that at all. Don't listen to him. Listen to
It,
me.
it's
I'm
it's
just
exactly
kidding. I'm
like
just kidding.
that.
I'm just kidding. But
Or even like anything with art related, like books. You have fantasy, then you have high fantasy, then you have dark fantasy. You like fantasy is the main genre, but then there's a bunch of subgenres to it.
okay, but this is
Oh, oh,
what
hold on. On topic with the I think it was the replay episode. Um, One thing I wanted to gripe about: how the fuck are you gonna say at the beginning of the episode, Lord of the Rings is your favorite franchise or one of your favorite franchise, and you don't know Saruman or
oh
like,
my god, that shit was so he kept saying
It is. All right. You know what? I do love the story, and I'm bad with names. Okay.
like I don't know if I'm going to keep this in the episode or not, but Matt has a really honestly good story about him and his brother on a boat, and there was an incident with a water moccasin. But when he tells you the story, he mispronounces the word moccasin, but he says it differently every time he says it. He says it in a different moccasin, moscasin, macacasin. It's a good story. Like, it's a cool story, but yeah, words are hard. Leave him alone.
Words are hard. All right, and I'm dyslexic. Okay.
well, that's like my son. Like he got the Magic the Gathering Lord of the Rings deck that had Saruman, and he kept calling him Sour Man.
That's a better name.
they,
He is.
yeah, I'm just. I know. All right, I know how I am. Okay,
Nobody knows better than him how he is.
just don't correct me too much, or you'll give yourself a headache. Okay.
This
Oh,
is how.
I corrected you for 2.5 hours just now.
Yeah, you did.
Anyways,
Yep,
probably should wrap this up.
that's gonna be season one. Be excellent to each other. Thank you, James, for being an insufferable fucking douchebag and doing all of this.
You're welcome.
I would say thank you, James, for joining us, and this was actually really cool and fun to do.
This was a lot of fun, except for that weird survival horror thing at the end. But I'm sorry.
Because you're the insufferable dickhead.
Words matter.
Nitpicking.
Words matter.
No, they don't.
Host mad. But anyway, yeah, we love you guys. Thank you for anybody who listened through season one, and we will be back in 2 weeks to a month with season two. We won't fucking tell you. Just keep your notifications on, and bam, it'll be there. Or
Yep.
James,
Yeah.
James, I'll tell you. I'll be like, hey, we did a thing, and we put it out. I'll tell you. I should start using the Discord.
Yeah, we gotta get better at social
Yeah.
media.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
do have a Discord.
I've started the Discord. Y'all just haven't
I
attempted
have no idea how to use Discord. I know
It's
very
very straightforward.
Thank you guys for listening. I'm gonna stop this recording. We love you
All
guys.
right.
Have a good one. Be
Yeah.
excellent to each other. Matt, suck balls.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to us and putting up with us. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.